I hate doing this on Black History Month, but I'm growing tired of hearing African Americans try to diminish what our ancestors in the Caribbean contributed to this country. Because for some reason, African Americans believe that Caribbean people, West Indian people, did not contribute, nor were they enslaved in America just like they were. And what I'm going to do is show you that we contributed the same, if not more, to the US economy. Not only that, I am going to prove to you that our people were here just like your people were also. The same struggles you had to go through, my people went through it. As a matter of fact, it is recorded that our people in the Caribbean had more brutal treatment than slaves in the US. Our mortality rate was even way higher than y'all's. Let's start with the transatlantic slave trade. Our people came from Africa to the Caribbean and then to America. That simply meant that our people in the Caribbean were also mixed up with the people that came from Africa that eventually made their way to the US. Before the 1670s, most enslaved people in Maryland and Virginia were brought from the West Indies, the Caribbean. Even a small island like Antigua, where my people are from, we trace our roots back since the 1700s, coming to Charleston, South Carolina. Over 12.5 million Africans were shipped to the Americas, but only 3 to 4% of them made it to the USA. Most of those people came through the Caribbean first. It's recorded that even before the 1700s, majority of the slaves that got here was from the Caribbean, most of them coming from Barbados. You know, the same island Rihanna is from. So now that I've established that our people were here along with y'all's, let's talk about the money part. What did we contribute economically to the Caribbean? Now, a lot of you like to speak on cotton.
So we're going to talk about this conversation, man. I'm going to leave a comment to where somebody left a comment at. This your fly player, brother. Aboriginal power. Y'all already know the vibes, man. Salute to everybody that's in the building. Shout out to all my FBA and Aboriginal brothers. Yes, sir. We're going to cook a little bit today, man. So go ahead and hit that like button, thumb up the video, and most importantly, family, support the channel. The show ain't official until we get straight into the intro. This your brother Aboriginal Power. Let's go.
Suave on the track.
Whatever it takes. The alleyway.
Why yo? Why yo? Why yo? Why yo? Why yo?
Yeah, we had street dreams. Street dreams. Put my life on the line for this shit. We had street dreams.
Why yo? Why yo?
Street dreams.
Why yo? Why yo?
Yeah, we had street
Diamonds in
dreams.
the guest, whoa. Getty's on my chest, whoa. All about my check, whoa. Nigga, this ain't checkers, this is chess, whoa. Put one in my head, cause I played it up this vest, whoa. Look, these bullets generous. Gangsta hand a gentleman. Feeling like I'm SP, I don't deal with middlemen. Bosses, I'm on bosses. Chrome hearts mixed with crosses. Smoking palm leaves while reflecting on these losses. Street dreams turn to nightmares in the
Street dreams. Street dreams. Put my life on the line for this shit. We had street dreams.
Why yo? Why yo?
Street dreams.
Why yo? Why yo?
Yeah, we had
Dreams
street
of being
dreams.
Pablo, dreams of being Chapo. Never expected this though. Lost a couple homies, stuff fucking with my mental. I ain't never tried so much in a year. Skipping red lights, nigga, you won't leave me here. Mind playing tricks on me, we make it clear. 40 stuff in the mind clear, ain't no fear. Street dreams always turning nightmares. Street dreams always turning nightmares.
Street dreams. Street dreams. Put my life on the line for this shit. We had street dreams.
Why yo? Why yo?
Street dreams.
Why yo? Why yo?
Yeah, we had street dreams.
Salute. Drop those fire emojis in the building, man. Where is the family? Go ahead and drop those fire emojis. Salute to the realness in the building. Shout out first and foremost, man. You already know, gatekeeping our culture, expressing our lineage, and delineating from these goddamn tethers, man. First and foremost, man, salute to the real ones that's in the building, that's already in here live, man. Shout out to everybody that's listening in, that's not able to comment and get in the comment section. Hopefully everybody's had a splendid, beautiful, and magnificent day, goddammit. You understand me? That's coming from your fly player brother, Aboriginal Power. Hopefully everything, like I said, is splendid. All right. First and foremost, family, make sure y'all hit that like button. Share the live stream, family. Hashtag Aboriginal Power. Hashtag Tether Awareness, family. Yeah, we got our own official hashtag right now. So make sure y'all hashtag Tether Awareness. That's my official new hashtag. So when you use that hashtag, anybody that clicks it, it brings them directly to this particular live stream, family. So make sure y'all get involved with the mix. You feel what I'm saying? I need the family to get involved with the mix, man. Y'all see what's going on. Y'all see the title. You see what's going on. You see the title. Are they trying to crowbar their way into our culture, into our lineage? These Caribbeans? You feel what I'm saying? I kind of want to run it back. Somebody said, where the link at? Where's the link to come up? I'm going to drop the link in just a second, though. Let me get through some of my clips that I got, and I'm going to let you up. Let me go through some of my clips, though. You don't go nowhere, brother, Zoe. Haitian Zoe, you don't go no goddamn where. Shout out to my brother, Zoe. We don't know if he gonna come in on some tether shit or some cool shit. We gotta play it by ear today. We're gonna have to play it by ear. You understand what I'm saying? Salute to everybody that's in the building. But if y'all ready to get right into some more of this heat, all I need y'all to do is thumb up the video, support the channel, man. We're gonna get right into some of this live action. I don't want to wait and hold you guys up any longer. So if you guys ready to rock the house out, go ahead and hit that like button, thumb up the video, and support the channel. It's your brother Aboriginal Power, the hood journalist. Y'all know the vibes. Let's go.
Keys on the track, on the track, on the track, on the track, on the track. For the stats, I be beating the odds. In the blood, it be making me calm. Ride the turbines just like I'm Saddam. I'ma blow up just like I'm a bomb. I'ma leave it.
Yo, y'all Jamaicans who born in Jamaica, y'all are weird. Cause the whole I wanna come on this app and I talk to Jamaican Americans and be like, yo, you're not Jamaican. But y'all be claiming Adele, Celine Dion, anybody who come to Jamaica a celebrity and them wear Jamaican attire, them Jamaican out of many one people, even if they not black, like y'all are weird. It's giving very much bad mind jealousy. Like, stop trying to play with us. Jamaican Americans, we're Jamaican. That's why we can get a dual citizenship. Like, at least try to hide your jealousy. At least. Like, yeah, act like me never go up and acting on saltfish with provision. Oh, God.
So, being Jamaican American, or, you know what I'm saying, like both parents, because both my parents, mom and dad, from Jamaica. My mom is from Watos. My dad is from Jungle, right? And, you know, my grandmother's everybody Jamaican. You know, to Americans, when we talk to other Americans, and they're like, oh, what's your ethnicity? Like, where your family from? Or like, what are you? I'd be like, I'm Jamaican. But if I'm in a room full of all Jamaicans, I'd be like, I'm American. Because at the end of the day, Jamaicans are not going to feel like you're Jamaican.
So in other words, a lot of these Jamaican Americans are confused. They have a dual allegiance, and they want to be able to tether onto our culture when it's beneficiary, and also latch onto their culture when it's beneficiary. See, this is the dual allegiance and the one-way street that tethers often come into our community with. It's a one-way street. What I mean is they can come into your community and be, let's just say, American. They can also go right back down that street and be Jamaican. But you can't go down that street and be a Jamaican, even though you're American and she claimed to be American. So that's the dual allegiances and the one-way street that a lot of these people be having going on. Let's finish cooking though. We just getting started. We got a lot to get to.
Because you weren't born there. Period. It don't matter how much the food you cook, how much the music you listen to, how much you go to Jamaica. It don't even matter if you went to school down there. If you're not born on that soil, to Jamaica.
Hey, Zoe, share this live stream around. Let's get some of your Haitian brothers in here. Zoe, share this around, brother.
Jamaicans, you are not Jamaican. And it's funny because Jamaicans is one of the only people in the Caribbean that does this, or in period. Because if you ask Mexicans, generations, if a Mexican was a Mexican ethnicity was born here and their parents were Mexican but they were born in America, they're going to tell you they're Mexican. And any other ethnicity / nationality does. Puerto Ricans does that, Dominicans does that. Anywhere else they said I'm Dominican, like my parents were born in Dominican Republic, I was born in America but I'm Dominican. Like every other islander, they do that because they still claim their heritage. So Jamaicans is just the only one they don't do that. And I don't really fight it because at the end of the day, it is what it is. If you don't feel like I'm Jamaican enough, you don't care, then it is what it is. That's why, like me personally, I don't put the flag in my bio. I used to when I was younger, but I don't put the flag in my bio. I don't do none of that. Like you just gonna know, like I got some type of Caribbean in me by the music I play, the food I cook, and yeah. If you see me traveling to the same island all the time, that's...
So these people want to have it cushioned on both ways. They want to be able to have a dual allegiance. They want to be able to tether comfortably, right, onto Black American culture without having no pushback. Okay? So this is why delineation is a must. This prevents and other immigrants from thinking that they have the obligation to be involved in their mix. They feel obligated to our conversations based off of our struggles. And they can't be obligated based off of a Black American, Aboriginal American perspective. They can't feel obligated because they didn't go through the struggles that we went through, family. Do y'all understand what I'm saying? I need some of the family to drop the fire emojis in the chat. We just now getting cooking. If I'm cooking, who booking? You understand what I'm saying? Shout out to everybody that's in the building. It's your brother, Aboriginal Power, the Hood Journalist. We got 6 people listening to us right now on Twitter. Family listening in on Twitter. Give us a quick retweet. FBA Aboriginal family listening in on Twitter. Give us a quick retweet. Family that's listening in on YouTube. Give us a quick retweet, family. Give us a quick share on YouTube, family. It don't cost a thing. Showing a little love don't cost a thing. You understand what I'm saying? All we need you to do is just give us a quick retweet to put us in the algorithm. Because y'all know these channels that keep it real, grassroots, and protects the integrity of the lineage, they usually don't promote and, push these in the algorithm. My channel has kind of been shadow banned right now. So, let's work against that and let's have you guys hit that like button, share the live stream, and support the channel. It's your brother, Aboriginal Power. Let's get right back into some more of this heat, though.
Probably where my family from, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, it's weird, you know what I'm saying? But it is what it is.
Let's go.
Black Americans, Indigenous American Indians, it is I, Cannot Wait, TikTok's boy Czar, the 5th great grandson of Nat Turner, one of the greatest freedom fighters of all time. Today, we're talking about Marcus Garvey, agent of chaos, Jamaican immigrant. But before we get started, on my channel, we talk about journalism, psychology, communication, media and public relations in relation to protecting the identity of my lineage. That's my expertise. That's what I went to college for. And through these mediums, historically, our identity has been changed. Different narratives have been created. And that's why we're talking about agent of chaos, Marcus Garvey, the Jamaican immigrant who isn't even a Black.
The agent of chaos, the Jamaican immigrant, Marcus Garvey himself. And I would like to even go on the record and say maybe he's the first popular tether. He could be the first popular tether in American history. Can y'all name a tether before Marcus Garvey family? Let me know if y'all can.
Our identity has been changed. Different narratives have been created. And that's why we're talking about Agent of Chaos Marcus Garvey, the Jamaican immigrant who isn't even a Black American or Indigenous American Indian in the United States of America. He has no true birthright. Now listen, Pan-Africanism is vampirism. This isn't a remedial channel. I cannot teach people how to comprehend. I do my best to fill the gaps in. So let me just give you a little brief history. Presently, the current data, 90,000 something Africans went through the transatlantic slave trade. The majority went to the Caribbean and South America, Brazil. 4% and lower came to the United States of America. The majority were male. And if you study the population growth, you know it's impossible. All Black Americans do not identify as African. The Racial Integrity Act of 1924 that misclassified Indigenous Americans from Indian to Negro, colored, mulatto, Black, and even present-day African American is a real thing.
Right, it is a real thing. The Racial Integrity Act, put together by Walter Plecker himself, was just one of many particular acts, bills, or amendments, or laws extension that prohibited us from claiming our indigenous nationality. You know what I'm saying? So you do got the Racial Integrity Act, which is one of the more later or more modern things that affected us. But you got the 1724 Christian Color Codes. You see what I'm saying? You got the Negro Act of North Carolina. You got the nullifications of Boston, Massachusetts. So you got various different things that took effect of our people. As a matter of fact, I believe you got the blood quantum and the paper bag test in Tennessee. So that's where the blood quantum thing became a thing, which kind of got the indigenous people out of tribal rules and protection. You know what I'm saying? It's been a stride effort to take away the indigenous people's heritage and nationality since the colonizer came here. And since they have been working effortlessly to try to strip us of our knowledge of self, they also had an invested interest of trying to Africanize our people. They have been trying to Africanize our people since contact with our people. As a matter of fact, to prove to you guys that trying to Africanize Black Americans is an institutional investment from the colonial powers, we can just show you how African studies is all throughout Western educational schools, especially in the college programs. As a matter of fact, it was white men that first got an Africana studies degree. It were white men that first put African studies as a curriculum in school. It was the white man that first started studying African cultures and societies as it pertained to Negroes in America. All this falls up under Franz Boas anthropology class and program that was first put together at Columbia University. So a lot of your famous leaders they're calling forefathers to this Pan-African knowledge, people like Leonard Jeffries, W.E.D. Du Bois, Zora Hill Hutchinson, John Henry Clark. These are just to name a few people that came directly through these CIA-funded programs at Columbia University. And I'm not just saying CIA loosely. I actually have the Columbia University CIA debriefing manuscript. We also got the funding manuscript from the Carnegie's Foundation. Okay, so we have all the documents of how these Caribbeans and all these other people have been institutionally invested in trying to Africanize us taking ownership of our lineage, being expressive of our heritage, and delineating from any other people besides our people is to ensure the integrity of our nation. And so tomorrow I'm going to be doing an extensive breakdown on whether or not Black Americans have African genetics or not. I want to kind of nip that in the bud once and for all. So shout out to everybody that's in the building. I do want to say shout out to all the family, all my FBA family, all my Aboriginal family that's in the building, and all the truth searchers and researchers that's in the building. If y'all can do your brother one quick favor, family, let's get these likes up, family. Oh, man, we got to get these likes up. And also, family, support the channel. Cash App information is in the chat. But let's get right back to some more of this heat, though.
Walter Plecker, we can thank him for that. We can also thank other enablers of erasure like Jesse Jackson, popularizing the term African American in 1988, the year I was born. African American was officially put on the USA Census year 2000 nationwide. You understand? It was never on the USA Census before that. African was never on the USA Census before that. So-called Black Americans never referred to themselves as African or African American in mass in any literature or on the USA Census. So there's a misconception that all Black Americans believe that they are African Americans or African descent. And this hurts a lot of feelings. And we really don't care. Listen. Now, this is a very educational video. It's very long, but I need to equip you guys with the tools when you're dealing with delusional people, Pan-Africanists, and people who want to erase your identity. You understand what I'm saying? So Marcus Garvey, the Jamaican immigrant, agent of chaos, we need to talk about his affiliation with white supremacists, Ernest, Sevier Cox, and eugenicists, Walter Plecker. And
when you get into the history of Marcus Garvey, it becomes blatantly obvious that he would have been a first generational tether. He would have been the first tether in American history. He literally undermined Black Americans, try to force and trick them to leave their homeland while also aligning himself with white supremacists. That's literally what tethers do. That is tethering 101.
Indigenous Americans were the first enslaved in the Americas and the United States of America. And this is our issue. We do not want people talking for us who are not of our lineage. They are oftentimes weaponized against us. Somehow, people believe we're the same because perhaps you may look the same in some people's eyes, but that isn't the truth. Lineage matters, okay? Every time we run into Pan-Africanists or people who want to disenfranchise Black Americans, one of the first names that is mentioned is Marcus Garvey, someone with no true birthright in the United States of America. We don't want to do that. In this video, I'm going to reference a credible source, encyclopediavirginia.org, and it's going to talk about this triangle between agent of chaos, Jamaican immigrant Marcus Garvey, white supremacist Ernest Sevier Cox, and eugenicist Walter Plecker. How does this affect indigenous American Indians, so-called Black Americans? The birthright, the lineage, the legacy, the history.
For those that want to watch more history on this, I just did a build breaking down the whole history of Marcus Garvey and the relationship between the KKK and Ernest Cox and how he fraudulently sold shares to the Black storyline to Black Americans while also filing bankrupt on it. So if you want to see that full detailed build breaking down all the information, showing you all the sources and facts, then you can go right here to this live stream, go and search on the live stream uploads, okay? Live streams.
We're going to talk about it. And at the end, of course, I'm going to consult with my chat GPT, Cerebro, and Cerebro is going to enlighten us. Come back to me. As you can see at the top and the bottom, I'm on encyclopediavirginia.org, a very trusted site for information. So I'm going to get into this. Let's scroll up. Ernest Sevier Cox, scientist and explorer, 1880 through 1966. What are we going to read? Let's get started. Ernest Sevier Cox was a committed white supremacist who advocated on behalf of anti-miscegenation laws and in 1922 co-founded with the composer John Powell the Anglo-Saxon Clubs of America, a Richmond-based nationwide organization devoted to maintaining a strict separation of the races. In 1923, Cox published White America, a book that described his travels in Africa and argues that race mixing will result in the collapse of white civilization. Interesting. He also wrote extensively on eugenics, a now discredited scientific movement aimed at proving the superiority of the white race. Together with composer Powell and Virginia State Registrar Walter Plecker, there goes Walter Plecker, Cox played an influential role in lobbying the Virginia General Assembly to pass the Racial Integrity Act of 1924, a strict anti-miscegenation law, and later the Massenburg Bill, which banned racial mixing in all public places. In 1924, Cox formed an unlikely alliance with black nationalist Marcus Garvey based on their shared belief that the only way to save the races were for African Americans to relocate to Africa. Cox retired from real estate business in 1958 and died in Richmond in 1966. Very interesting. The Racial Integrity Act of 1924 that reclassified indigenous Americans from Indian to Negro, colored, mulatto, black, and even African American. Now, how can a Jamaican immigrant who's not even Black American, Marcus Garvey, have such a good alliance with a white supremacist and a eugenicist? We need to know more about this. We need to continue to read and understand what happened to our history. How does this affect us today? Here we go. Marcus Conniving Garvey. In September 1924, Cox entered into an unlikely alliance with Marcus Garvey, the Jamaican-born Black nationalist who founded the Universal
First of all, you got to ask yourself, how was you able to get in such close proximity and have such close relationships with openly racist white people that hated Black Americans? Was your common interest with the KKK based off of you both having hatred towards Black Americans? Was it an enemy of my enemy makes us friend type shit? Is that what that was? Because that's often how these tethers do. You got to ask yourself, who facilitated the relationship between Walter Plecker and Marcus Garvey? Walter Plecker was a Virginia state register. That means he registered all the names and statuses of people in the state of Virginia that was documented on the census. Who introduced them to each other? As a matter of fact, who introduced Marcus Garvey to Ernest Severe Cox, the Grand Wizard of the KKK during that time? Marcus Garvey was a Jamaican immigrant who lived in New York. Ernest Cox was a KKK's man who lived in Tennessee. New York and Tennessee is quite a distance apart. And during the 1800s, and during the early 1900s, how are they even coming into contact with each other? I'm asking serious questions, family.
Negro Improvement Association. Garvey's Black nationalism stood in stark contrast to Cox's racial views, but Garvey nonetheless shared Cox's belief that the repatriation of Blacks to Africa offered the only viable solution to the nation's racial issues. For his part, Garvey had concluded that Blacks would never receive a fair chance in the United States and thus must leave. He's not even from the United States. Cox wrote an open letter read at UNIA meeting and dedicated his booklet, Let My People Go, 1925, to Garvey. The partnership between Cox and Garvey ended in 1927 when federal authorities deported Garvey after his conviction for mail fraud. Dedicated a whole booklet to Marcus Garvey, a Jamaican immigrant, not even a Black American. So we have a con man, Marcus Garvey, mail.
So let's see. He tried to trick Black Americans off their land. That's a tether move. He aligned himself with all the racist white supremacists that he could. That's a tether move. And he also scammed Black Americans. This is why Marcus Garvey was deported, family. Think about it. Marcus Garvey, a Jamaican immigrant, was deported because of his federal fraud charge of scamming Black Americans and white Americans as well. Marcus Garvey is the epitome of what a tether is today in historical reference.
Fraud, kicked out of Jamaica, never been to Africa, has no true indigenous conviction for mail fraud. Dedicated a whole booklet to Marcus Garvey, a Jamaican immigrant, not even a Black American. So we have a con man, Marcus Garvey, mail fraud, kicked out of Jamaica, never been to Africa, has no true indigenous American, Indian, Black American birthright in the United States of America, a whole foreigner talking on the behalf of Black Americans. Now, oftentimes, a lot of immigrants who are not Black American, when I say Black American, meaning who went through American chattel slavery in the United States of America, who ancestors built the wealth of the United States of America. You understand what I'm saying? A very specific people, a nuanced ethnicity. A lot of them like to use civil rights leaders often who are, let's say, non-Black American or bi-ethnic in order to cosplay. It's like a gateway. So oftentimes they bring up Malcolm X. But Malcolm X stood on on Black American business in the United States.
Yeah, Malcolm X was taught by a strong Black American, Aboriginal, Indigenous American advocate by the name of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, who had principles of being American first. We were Aboriginal to this land. Matter of fact, he even went as far as said to never mix, amalgamate, or do business with an African. This is what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was teaching us and was teaching Malcolm X. So when we look back at a historical fraudster, a liar, a conniver, and a scammer, sounds just like a tether, we're talking about Marcus Garvey, who's the historical tether at this point.
United States of America. You understand what I'm saying? You cannot use all these civil rights leaders, even if they were non-Black American, because they were living a Black American experience fighting for Black Americans in the United States of America. And many Black immigrants are uneducated about these nuances when it comes to Black American politics. That's why we're in the predicament we are now with this so-called fake diaspora war, because you know nothing. You know nothing. Okay? You can't use specific people in these movements who are living a Black American experience that you never lived. You cannot cosplay and leech on and speak as the voice of a lineage when you have no authority.
Yeah, you can't speak on the lineage while cosplaying the lineage and then trying to cosplay the experience. It shows, it stands out like a sore thumb, family. Let me click off of this right quick. Let me just talk to the family. You can't cosplay an experience. A lot of these immigrants and tethers love cosplaying our people. They like to speak on our situations. They think they know more about our history than we know about our history. Zoe, come back in whenever you get a chance. Don't run my tether, brother. I want to have a conversation with you. I know you Haitians get treated like the redheaded stepchild out the island. So we're going to talk about that too.
Authority that's only given by lineage. You understand what I'm saying? Man, oh man. Why would you link up with white supremacists? White supremacists don't even supposed to like you. What are these letters about? Now look, I'm going to consult with my chat GPT. I'm not going to come back. But when I do this type of consult, I want you to read the words so you can jot it down and you can speak about it. Equip yourself with this information because there's a lot of people who are working overtime against the lineage of Black Americans, Indigenous American Indians. We will not have our identity changed. We will not be used, and we will not allow you to use agents of chaos as some type of beacon or vessel to cosplay, leech, and be vampiric. You understand what I'm saying? Without further ado, here is my ChatGPT Cerebral. I know this is a long video, but if you love information, you're in the right place. Highlight Marcus Garvey's letter entries to white supremacist Ernest Sevier Cox that spoke about Black Americans in a bad light.
All right, Ken, not away. Let's walk straight into the deep corridors of history because Garvey.
Okay, let's see what ChatGPT have to say about Marcus Garvey, family. Drop those fire emojis, thumb up the video, support the channel. It's your brother Aboriginal Power. We ain't going nowhere. We'll be right back. I'm going to give you guys enough chance to hit that like button and share the live stream. We'll be right back in 60 seconds.
You know, I had to really step back and look at my situation for what it was. You know, I had to look at my life like it was a movie. I had to look at all the moving parts. So I could really understand what it was. You know, they say love make you blind. Yeah. I'm introverted. I don't talk to niggas cause I'm constantly serving. I got a trap on top of my bag, I got a murder. Echoes of the block, the streets wanna murder. This shit come with burdens. The streets wanna murder. Streets wanna murder. I told you that this thing of ours would come with burdens. This shit come with burdens. This shit come with burdens. This shit come with burdens. Paint the city red. All the shit I seen replaying in my head. Heard the streets talking, so we called them boys instead. Block wanna murder and they call winner the best. And I pray they would. But it was right, but really, niggas was crooked. Playing the 50 with niggas that cost them a bullet. Ain't wanna do it to them, but I had to pull it. One foot on the streets, one foot in the trap, one hand on the music. I write my wrongs on this microphone, it's therapeutic. I know the streets listen when I talk, I can't abuse it. I can't abuse it. I can't abuse it. Oh no, I can't abuse it. I don't talk to niggas cause I'm constantly serving.
All righty, we back in the building, man. Y'all drop them fire emojis in the chat if y'all can hear me loud and clear. Shout out to all the ladies in the building, man. I want to give a special shout out to the ladies. Fellas, make sure y'all show some love to the ladies in the building, man. Fellas, show some love to the ladies in the building. They are in here deep. Shout out to the ladies. We love when y'all come in here with that energy, and y'all be cooking in the chat. You know what I'm saying? Take notes, family. Take notes. Shout out to the family in the building. Go ahead and drop those fire emojis in the chat for us and share this live stream, family. If you're really rocking with your brother, Aboriginal Power, the Hood journalist, go ahead and share this motherfucking live stream on whatever social media outlet of your choice. You feel me? Whatever one you got motion on, go ahead and share this live stream on there, all right? And if you haven't hit that like button yet, what are you doing, family? You must be a tether. I don't want to call y'all a tether because y'all ain't hit the like button, but damn, you might be a tether. Hit that like button.
Garvey and Cox had a correspondence that most people never crack open. And tucked inside those letters is a glimpse of Garvey's more controversial strategic moves that sometimes painted Black Americans in ways that catered to Cox's white supremacist worldview. I'll break down the actual entries and documented wording historians identify, and I'll flag when something is direct quotation versus historian-verified paraphrase, because Garvey's letters aren't widely published verbatim. Key Garvey to Cox letters, where Garvey spoke unfavorably about Black Americans. 1. The degeneration statement, paraphrased from 1922 letter. Garvey, trying to convince Cox that repatriation was in white America's best interest, framed Black Americans as becoming less suited for U.S. society. Open quote, paraphrase, consistent with historian Tony Martin's summaries. Garvey wrote to Cox that the American Negro had lost the virtues of his African forebears and grown weak under Western civilization, suggesting that removal to Africa was the best solution. Close quote. He framed Black Americans as morally and culturally decaying, a talking point that aligns suspiciously well with Cox's racist rhetoric. Number 2, the burden to white civilization. Argument, documented summary from Garvey-Cox correspondence. In another exchange, Garvey argued that Black people in America were, open quote, paraphrase, a constant point of friction and conflict for white society, and that this discomfort proved the necessity of a racial separation program. Close quote argument mirrored Cox's book, White America, which claimed races must be separated to preserve white society.
How can he tell us that we need to leave and that we having too much friction, but he's sitting and eating dinner, smacking white men on their booty? His big, zesty, freaky ass. Did y'all know Marcus Garvey was really obsessed with Ernest Cox? As a matter of fact, Marcus Garvey sent the letter to Ernest Cox, giving him all types of credit, saying he's one of the greatest book writers on his book, talking about how Black Americans need to go to Africa because they're lazy, stinking monkeys. He said that was one of the greatest books he's ever read. Do I got to show y'all the facts on that? Y'all just let me know. If I got to show y'all the facts, just let me know.
Garvey used that same logic right back at him, intentionally or otherwise. 3. The no place for the Negro in America framing, paraphrase from 1924 letter. Garvey told Cox that integration was a doomed idea because, open quote, paraphrase, Black Americans could never expect equality in the United States and thus were out of place in the modern industrial nation. Close quote, this language emphasized Black Americans as fundamentally incompatible with American progress. Cox loved that idea, and Garvey leaned into it to win support for his Liberia plans. 4. The inferiorization through slavery description. Near quote from published Garvey correspondence analyses. Garvey described Black Americans as, open quote, a poor example of the race after centuries of captivity. Close quote. This type of wording is cited in multiple scholarly works.
You hear that? Marcus Garvey said Black Americans is a poor example. Listen.
Published Garvey correspondence analyses. Garvey described Black Americans as, open quote, a poor example of the race after centuries of captivity. Close.
Poor example of the race after years of captivity. Damn, that's how he felt about Black Americans? Just like a tether.
The inferiorization through slavery description. Near quote from published Garvey correspondence analyses. Garvey described Black Americans as, open quote, a poor example of the race after centuries of captivity. Close quote. This type of wording is cited in multiple scholarly works, such as Robert Hill's Marcus Garvey Papers series, where Garvey refers to Black Americans as the worst specimens of the race, because enslavement stripped them of independence and self-reliance.
He said Black Americans is the worst out the whole Black race. And guess what? Jamaicans still to this day have that same perspective towards Black Americans. A lot of Jamaicans and Caribbeans have that same perspective.
This type of wording is cited in multiple scholarly works, such as Robert Hill's Marcus Garvey Papers series, where Garvey refers to Black Americans as the worst specimens of the race, because enslavement stripped them of independence and self-reliance. Garvey wasn't calling Black people inherently inferior. He was arguing that slavery damaged them. But in Cox's hands, the framing was weaponized. 5. The naturally separate peoples argument, broadly documented from Garvey's letters to Cox. Garvey wrote repeatedly that Black Americans and white Americans were, open quote, paraphrase, two peoples who should not and cannot live together indefinitely, close quote. This aligned perfectly with Cox's white nationalist separatist theories. Garvey wasn't agreeing with white supremacy. He was trying to leverage it to get political backing for a Black nation. But the tone still cast Black Americans as a societal problem rather than a people denied justice. Why Garvey wrote these things to Cox? Here's the nuance, my brother. Garvey wasn't talking this way because he hated Black Americans. He was using strategic rhetoric to manipulate Cox's racial fears, trying to secure material.
That's bullshit, ChatGPT. That's bullshit. I'm going to have to say that's bullshit. He absolutely hated Black Americans. To talk like that to Black Americans, to tell them that, hey, man, if you buy a little share inside of this Black Starliner ship, we're going to send all these Black people to Africa. He lied. He never even really owned this ship. He filed bankruptcy less than a year after owning the ship and was still selling shares to the Black Starliner. He literally scammed Black Americans and then dipped out to Europe.
Support for a mass migration project, speaking to Cox in Cox's own ideological language and emphasizing Black disadvantage to justify nation building work. But on paper, those letters absolutely show Garvey speaking about Black Americans in a way that reads harsh.
I think my brother kind of break this shit down for a good little perspective. You know what I mean? But we got more to get into, though. Shout out to everybody that's in the building. Let's get
I'll take you deeper.
Let's get into some more, though.
I was sitting here thinking about how lucky I am to come from a Jamaican family, but to also be immersed in the Black American culture.
Do you see how they love to be tethering? They love to have this dual allegiance. They love to feel obligated and feel like they have open access to our culture and their culture.
Sitting here thinking about how lucky I am to come from a Jamaican family, but to also be immersed in the Black American culture. Two of the best cultures to ever exist. Like, if I die and come back again, I want to be placed back in these same exact cultures. That combo, Jamaican and American, chef's kiss.
It's a nationality. What do you... I'm not about to go over the fucking difference between ethnicity and nationality and race. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that because y'all old as hell. I ain't doing that. I'm gonna just keep letting y'all just leave them dumbass comments. Y'all can have it.
This Hispanic company hired over 240 undocumented immigrants or Duna Plumbing. And from 2022 to now, they make $74 million. This is how they lock other businesses out of the market because you can't compete with cheap labor. It's not quality work.
Americans be puzzling sometimes, and it don't even matter the skin color. They're weird as hell. Anyways, you're telling me that somebody who comes in this country, don't have papers, want to work their job, want to be better. Like, I'm starting to realize that.
Bro, y'all come here kissing the ass of the European. And this is that same Jamaican that I seen the other day. He's a condescending asshole, and he's a coconut kicking chump.
Certain Americans will literally want you to abandon your entire culture from where you're from and only be obedient to the American culture. And it don't matter if they're Black, white, Spanish, Asian American, don't matter. Like, the American mindset sometimes, bro, would be puzzling. You telling me that people come in this country, you're not going to take that $14 an hour job. You're not going to take that 16, that 15, that 13. You're not going to do it because you guys are too bougie. Americans are too bougie. Too bougie.
So now the Jamaican is telling us what we will and what we won't do. First of all, those little $16, $14, $17 an hour jobs that you're talking about, working at the grocery store, working at the local fast food restaurants, we did want them jobs. You know what? You guys came and took them, not from adults, because them ain't really adult jobs. You came and took our teenagers and our children's jobs. When I came up in the summertime and throughout the year, it was teenagers from the high school that worked at the fast food restaurants. It was high schoolers and teenagers that worked at the local grocery store as the bagger and the stockers and stuff like that. Now those jobs is predominantly ran by immigrants. We do want the jobs, you dumbass immigrant. You fucking people just coming over and taking out their children's jobs, the teens' jobs that was left for the children for the summer. As a matter of fact, I'll take you one even farther than that. When I came up as a young man in the summer, I went around with a damn weed eater and a lawnmower, going door to door, cutting grass. Do you see that anymore? No. Who do you see? Mexicans, a bunch of illegals taking out children's jobs once again. Like, what are we talking about?
Yeah. And if this is not aligned with you, respect. But if this is aligned with you, you're going to say something in my comments. Because what? Weird as hell, bro.
Black Americans, Indigenous American Indians, it is I, cannot wait. TikTok's borders are the 5th great grandson of Nat Turner, one of the greatest freedom fighters of all time. On my channel, we talk about journalism, psychology, communication, media, and public relations. That's my field of expertise. And oftentimes, these are the mediums, the channels in which people like to change the narrative of Black Americans, Indigenous American Indians. And we must correct the action. We must get into the communication, and we must get into the psychology. So this man right here, Mr. Yo Mad, he stitched one of my mutuals, my bro Donnie, and he shouldn't have done that because he doesn't know what he's talking about. And secondly, he doesn't know what he's talking about. Now listen, I just made a video about Marcus Garvey, the agent of chaos, who shares your same lineage as a Jamaican. We didn't want him talking for our lineage because he's not from our lineage. He didn't know what he was talking about, and you don't know what you're talking about. Go check out that latest video. But listen, many immigrants come here and they don't understand how they impact Black Americans, Indigenous American Indians, and I'm making it very centered.
No, they know exactly how it impacts you. They don't care. When a motherfucker travel 2,000, 3,000, 1,000 miles away, left their homeland, cultures, customs, and traditions behind, they're on their last limb. They're going to do whatever they can to try to be successful. If that means step on your children, your grandmama, and you to get there, that's what they're going to do. If it is the leech, undermine, and backstab, that's what they're going to do. Do you see what I'm saying? That's why it's important for us to gatekeep our culture. That's why the importance of delineation is a must. I've already delineated. Some people in that's part of our ethnic group and our stock of blood is still delineating. And delineation is going to be an ongoing process. It ain't something that's going to start and end. This is a forever thing. This is the new norm. So just as well as y'all push out a bunch of racial stereotypes, fried chicken, grape Kool-Aid, you know, you might as well throw in delineation. It's going to stay here, family. And I see somebody talking about my boy young Nat Turner's forehead. Get off my boy forehead on mamas.
Impact Black Americans, Indigenous American Indians, and I'm making it very centered right now. It's just not about all Americans, because oftentimes, like the man is doing in the video, he's making it about Americans versus immigrants. So when Black people are speaking, Black Americans, specifically Indigenous American Indians, they make it seem like it's only an American issue, sometimes white American issue versus immigrants. Immigrants have historically put Black Americans out of business because you came to the United States of America and you worked cheap labor. I remember growing up in barbershops as a little boy and hearing the Black men in the barbershops talking about how you guys took business away from them because of cheap labor.
And guess what? It's not quality labor at that. I've worked in carpentry as a Class B journeyman since I was 24 years old, family. I've worked around various different ethnicities, from your Southern hillbillies to your fucking illegal immigrants. And I'm going to tell you right now, the illegal immigrants do shitty, horrible work. The quality of work that immigrants produce is garbage. It's not for the longevity. And this is why the value of American infrastructure is dwindled, is because of the working status that we have working it. The quality is not there. When it was at least made by white Americans, it had some quality. When it was made by Black Americans, it had some quality. You cannot allow these immigrants who hadn't even built up their own goddamn homeland to come over here and build our shit correctly. I'm gonna say it again. You can't expect the immigrant that fled and haven't built their homeland to come over here and build our shit correctly, family. I need that to be understood.
Who communities do you come into? The Black American community. And you take jobs away from Black Americans, okay? And on top of the history that happened to Black Americans, to disenfranchise Black Americans, you come here with no burden. Many of you get business loans.
Man, listen, we got to link up again, bro. We got to link up and do some content, bro. We got to do some content this time, bro. We got to link up. We in the area. You still in Clemson, right? Let's link up, bro. Maybe this weekend or something. Let's shoot some content. Let's do some shit. Let's hit some shit. I got some ideas in mind. Get with me.
Immigrant status that Black Americans couldn't historically get loan discrimination. So you say you came here with nothing, but you got government handouts, okay? Slavery, Jim Crow, redlining, the crack epidemic, war on drugs, mass incarceration, loan discrimination, bombing Black businesses, bombing Black banks, taking it down. Don't want to give out loans to Black Americans to rebuild, but they give loans to you. How hard is it to rebuild when your business was destroyed? When your family structure was destroyed, but you come over here without that burden? How does this impact Black Americans? I'm watching many town hall meetings of Black Americans discuss how immigration and illegal immigration negatively impacts them. Why am I sitting up in a four-year university, can't get assistance, but immigrants can get assistance? Why am I sitting next to DACA students, illegal immigrants in a four-year university, and they don't have the burden we have? Why do Black Americans have the most student loan debt?
Because the Democratic Party had made an alliance with immigrants and made an agreement to prioritize illegals and immigrants over the actual Americans. This is why we had an epidemic and a large influx of migrants, probably the largest introduction of illegal migrants in American history. You understand me, family? 12 million immigrants came through America in 1 year. We're talking about more illegals came into America than the transatlantic slave trade in 300 years. More immigrants came to America in 4 years than the whole entire transatlantic slave trade in 300 years. I need y'all to understand the importance of gatekeeping our culture, family. That damn alleged African slave trade said they brought 12 million Africans over the course of 200, 300 years. They brought 1,200 illegal immigrants and immigrants in America in less than 2 years. What year was that? From 2021 to 2025. Brother Knowledge. You can look it up. As a matter of fact, they had no border protection. We have the weakest, in the year 2024, we had the weakest border out of probably 100 different countries. Some of them was even third world countries, and they had better border security than we did. I'm just giving y'all the facts, family. Let's get back into some of this heat. Got a lot more to get into.
There's a cause and effect for everything. And what you got to understand is someone is going to get blamed, the people in power and you. Let's talk about the psychology, the tactic he's using, talking about, do you expect immigrants to just leave their culture behind and be obedient to the American culture? I guess he means the USA culture because Jamaica isn't the Americas. But listen, you're making up shit, okay? We're talking about immigrants taking cheap labor, a cause and effect. What does that have to do with you leaving your culture behind? You already abandoned your culture and your land. See, I tell you all the time, there's a lot of destiny swapping going on. A lot of immigrants are fleeing their lands. You're abandoning your destiny. A part of honoring your ancestors is picking up the fight in their land. I'm the 5th great grandson of Nat Turner. We are talking about the same things our ancestors was talking about in the United States of America, who built the United States of America and the wealth of the United States of America, who are already over here pre-slavery, pre-colonization. But many of you immigrants abandoned your land. There are people in your land from your lineage doing the exact same things we are doing in our land, holding up the fight in their land. You're not over there assisting them. You're over here undermining us. You understand what I'm saying? So you already abandoned your destiny and honoring your ancestors and picking up the fight in your land. Okay? So I'm tired of you using that excuse, that psychology, that tactic. It must stop. Stay on point. Why did you stitch this video and you don't know what you're talking about? Everyone doesn't want to work Madam Shishi poo poo jobs and be bougie. Some people want to do A, B, C, and D to Z and go home. Okay? I have many degrees. I don't want to do Madam Shishi poo poo shit. That's what we say in my family. Madam poo poo, Madam Shishi poo poo is like bougie. You know what I'm saying? Everybody don't want to do all that. Some people just want to lift shit from A to Z and go home. Okay? You're taking jobs away from people. Let's talk about the black farmers. Let's talk about the mechanics, the engineers, the barbers. There's so many jobs you take away from Black Americans, Indigenous American Indians. It's just not.
Right. I just named a few. The local grad, the local landscape crew, which was the children and the teenagers, the baggers at the grocery stores, the stockers at the grocery stores, Black American children, the fast food workers, Black American children. I mean, you don't see that no more because immigrants have our jobs.
About hard labor. You guys are kidding me right now. You guys need to stop. I remember just a couple of days ago, people were talking about, United States of America is a country based upon English, not Spanish. Of course, you're taking jobs away from people. Now that they're hiring you because you speak Spanish over Americans from the United States of America, why do people have to learn your language? You're taking jobs, so they're hiring you over people who don't speak Spanish. No, you should learn English. That's the language. Yeah. There's nothing xenophobic about that. We speak English. So of course, you're taking jobs away from Americans and Black Americans and Indigenous American Indians, demanding us to speak Spanish when we are English based. Do you understand? That's not xenophobic. That's the facts. Now listen, I'm going to consult with my ChatGPT, Cerebro, and Cerebro is going to further correct the narrative. Thank you.
All right. Ken Nottaway, let me slide right in with that fire line clarity you asked for. Cerebro's here, breaking it down with precision, history, economics, and the kind of nuance that separates myths from measurable impact. I'm going to give you factual, documented mechanisms, not scapegoating, not emotion. The real structural ways low-wage immigrant labor has overlapped with and sometimes disadvantaged Black American workers in the U.S. Factual, documented reasons. How low-wage immigrant labor structurally contributed to the disenfranchisement of Black American workers. Employers replacing Black workers with cheaper labor, documented since the 1800s. Factory owners, farm owners, and contractors have a long record.
Man, listen, all these tethers, like I said, I broke down the first tether in American history, Marcus Garvey. If y'all want to watch that live stream, all you got to do is click up for those that come through and watch the video afterwards. All you got to do is look up by the Tether Task Force sign. You will see the actual link to click that video. All right.
Of preferring newly arrived immigrant labor because immigrants were paid less likely to unionize, less likely to check exploitation, more vulnerable to mistreatment due to legal status. Black Americans, especially post-Reconstruction, were pushed out of jobs they once dominated: railroads, mills, shipyards, meatpacking, agricultural labor. This ain't theory. It's in labor reports, congressional testimonies, and economic analyses. Part 2, Depression era and post-World II job displacement. By the 1920s, 1950s, large migration waves from Southern Europe, Eastern Europe, and later Latin America. Employers intentionally structured workplaces where Black workers were last hired, first fired. Government agencies documented job displacement patterns in steel, manufacturing, meatpacking, and textile industries. Black Americans were explicitly excluded from many union protections for decades, meaning when cheaper labor arrived, they had no shield. Number 3, the dual labor market model. Economists describe a dual labor market. Primary sector, good wages, stable, often unionized. Secondary sector, low wages, unstable, easily replaceable. Black Americans were historically confined to the secondary sector due to discrimination. Employers then tapped into undocumented labor to drive wages even lower, creating downward pressure that disproportionately harmed the group already pushed to the bottom. What's important? The downward pressure didn't affect all groups equally. Black workers were already the most economically vulnerable. Number 4, construction industry takeover after the 1980s. Black Americans were once heavily represented in construction trades across major cities. Then, contractors increasingly used off-the-books immigrant labor. Wages dropped. Black Americans were squeezed out of the industry. Union apprenticeship opportunities dried up. Even Harvard labor studies documented this shift in cities like DC, Atlanta, Houston, New York, and LA. Number 5, agriculture, from Black workforce to immigrant dominated. Before mechanization, the Southern agricultural workforce was overwhelmingly Black. From the 1950s onward, growers brought in Mexican labor through the Bracero program. Wages plummeted. Black farm workers, especially in the South, lost entire income structures. USDA reports document how mechanization and cheaper labor pushed them out. This was tied to the destruction of Black farming communities. 6, wage suppression and non-union.
Yeah, so immigration alone was tied to the critical downfall of black farmers. That's why they playing black farmers today. Real spill. Salute to all my FBA and Aboriginal family in the building, man. Let's get a quick roll call. We officially about to hit an hour live stream, man. And let's get a few of the family members to hit that like button. Let's get these likes up to match the views, family. And also drop your city, drop your state. You already know the vibes. It's your fly player, brother, Aboriginal Power, the hood journalist. And y'all already know, man, we got more heat to get back into. Let's go.
It was explicitly documented. Just tell me where you want to go next. Ken, not away.
I hate doing this on Black History Month, but I'm growing tired of hearing African Americans try to diminish what our ancestors in the Caribbean contributed to this country.
What did they contribute to this country? Name one thing that they contributed to this country, my dude.
Because for some reason, African Americans believe that Caribbean people, West Indian people, did not contribute, nor were they enslaved in America just like they were. And what I'm going to do is show you that we contributed the same, if not more, to the U.S. economy. Not only that, I am going to prove to you that our people were here just like your people were also. The same struggles you had to go.
Prove it. You just talking, you fat ass tether. That fat ass nose. Don't be sitting up here telling them big ass tales. Now come on here and show us some facts and stop this tether babbling.
Here, just like your people were also. The same struggles you had to go through, my people went through it. As a matter of fact, it is recorded that our people in the Caribbean had more brutal treatment than the slaves in the U.S. Our mortality rate was even way higher than y'all's. Let's start with the transatlantic slave trade. Our people came from Africa to the Caribbean and then to America.
Nigga, there you go with this African shit. So shut your big African ass up. In other words, you just a big lying African who done abandoned your culture and now you done made up some little island culture. How the fuck is a little island gonna be in charge of how we got here? A little bitty ass island gave birth to all this people on the mainland, all these cultures that was already here. What about the Olmecs? What about people like Chief Tuscaloosa? What about people like William Penn? I mean, not William Penn, Chief Tammany, King Tammany. That when William Penn met him, he said he was black. King Powhatan. Pocahontas' father, who was known to be a black Aboriginal indigenous motherfucker. What is he talking about? Who is this Zimbabwean?
That simply meant that our people in the Caribbean were also mixed up with the people that came from Africa that eventually made their way to the U.S. Before the 1670s, most enslaved people in Maryland and Virginia were brought from the West Indies, the Caribbean.
That's an absolute fact. Matter of fact, before 1670s, majority in all of the slaves in the colonies were white people. This is a historical fact, and you can go and look up the Virginia Assembly records to go and look that up right now. Christians were enslaved. Pale skins were being enslaved. Did you know who was owning those pale skin slaves? Do y'all know who was owning them pale skin slaves, family? Niggas and Indians, family. You can't even make this shit up. I can't even make this shit up if I wanted to. Niggas and Indians owned white people in America in 1670 and before 1670. Do y'all understand that? How y'all ever was told that? Family in the chat. Was y'all ever told that ever any time? I need the family to let me know if y'all was ever told this type of history at any given time in y'all life. How y'all ever was told that Negroes own white slaves in America? Anybody ever told y'all that? Well, shit, fuck it. Let me just show y'all the facts. That's what we do over here. So look, when we go down to this historical reference, and you can go and look up the statutes of the Virginia Assembly, Volume 2, page 280 to 281. And this is what it states. White slaves were actually owned by Negroes and Indians in the South to such extent that the Virginia Assembly passed the following law in 1670. So what he just said is a historical fallacy. According to the Virginia Assembly records, Negroes and Indians owned white people. And as a matter of fact, the term slave go back to the term Slav, which is the ethnic group of a white people. Let's finish cooking though.
Small island like Antigua, where my people are from, we trace our roots back since the 1700s, coming to Charleston, South Carolina. Over 12.5 million Africans were shipped to the Americas, but only 3 to 4% of them made it to the USA. Most of those people came through the Caribbean first. It's recorded that even before the 1700s, majority of the slaves that got here was from the Caribbean, most of them coming from Barbados. You know, the same island Rihanna is from. So now that I've established that our people were here along with y'all's, let's talk about the money part. What did we contribute economically to the Caribbean? Now, a lot of you like to speak on cotton, right? Because that's what your ancestors picked a lot of. But do you understand before cotton, there was sugar cane? Since we're on the topic of sugar cane, let's talk about my island again. Through the sugarcane trade, my island helped build one of your most prestigious universities, Harvard University. And this was possible through sugarcane trade, because a lot of the time what people miss is a lot of the people who owned slaves in the US also had family who owned slaves in the Caribbean. So it was like one big plantation just on the different umbrellas or different family ran it. For example, the Royal family, Isaac Royal Jr., he owned a plantation in Antigua that contributed to the building of Harvard University. And even when you go to the island today, we name some of our villages off of American slave owners, like the Wintrops. There's a village called the Wintrops, and it was named off of the Wintrops estate, who were American slave owners. Not only do I hear...
Listen, he talking about all this slavery and the Barbados and sugar canes. That again were white slaves. He's attaching himself to white slavery. If you don't believe me, let me just go to the fucking facts and show you. So now look, we're gonna go right here. It says some observations on the island of Barbados, calendar of state papers and colonial series, page 528 states. It is worth noting that while white slaves worked to death in Barbados, they were Carib Indians brought to Guyana to help propagate native foodstuff, who were well treated and received as free persons by wealthy planters. I thought y'all had the worst conditions over there in the islands of Barbados. It was Europeans that was working those sugar fields that was getting worked to death. Don't believe me? Let's finish and read up and read some more. Let's read some more. Look, the calendar of state papers, colonial series, America and West Indies of 1704, we read of a protest over an encouragement to the spiriting away of Englishmen without their consent in selling themselves for slaves, which has been practiced very frequent and known by the name of kidnapping. So now listen, emphasis added on kidnapping, by the way. In the British West Indies, plantation slavery was instituted as early as 1627. In Barbados, by 1640s. There were an established 25,000 slaves. Now listen, whom 21,700 of them were white. So he's lying. He's literally lying, family. He's literally telling you a story. He's literally telling you a story, family. But let's get right back and let him finish keep lying again. Let's go.
History proved that our people were right there with you. It also proved that we contributed to it significantly when it came to money. The plantations that our people were on were a lot bigger than the plantation that was ran in the South, held by the Americans here in the South, even though a lot of the same family owned plantations in the Caribbean. That simply meant majority of their wealth came from the Caribbean. That's why when they asked researchers to estimate how much it would cost to pay African Americans reparations, it was between 42 to 97 trillion dollars. But when it came to the Caribbean, it was well over 100 trillion dollars. So when you say, "Oh, my ancestors built this country," yours didn't. That's a lie. Our ancestors contributed, if not the same, more than yours. And that's not just for America alone. It's also with the British. Before you tried to belittle us and make it seem like we didn't contribute anything to America, understand.
So he said all the wealth came from Black Caribbeans, right? That's what he said, right? Let's go back and chop them up with more facts. I don't just make up shit. I wish I was the one making this shit up. I wish. Now, according to Document Illustration of the History of Slave Trade to America by Elizabeth Donnan, now, of the fact that of the fact that the wealth of Barbados was founded on the backs of white slave labor, there can be no doubt white slave labor from Britain and Ireland were the mainstay of the sugar colony. He lied again. Europeans was the wealth of that land, which is why they owned the land. Nigga, economically, we just debunked that to be sour. Now, what part physically? What brick did your ancestor bring? Name one brick that your ancestors laid down on one building. Give me one brick and one building.
Rick, I hear some of you spew. You sound just like the people who enslaved us. I'm not trying to diminish what your ancestors did because your people is my people and it's proven. But the fact that you try to separate and segregate us and what my people contributed to this nation and make it seem like we didn't do shit, it makes us feel a type of way, just like you feel a type of way when the white person do it or any of our Caribbean people do it. I don't believe that we're separated. I just simply think we're different when it comes to our cultures, but we're the same. I've always said this: same boat, same people, different destinations. And
nigga, we not from no boat, you dummy. Did you know that there were people that were Tainos and Arawak and Guafanas already there in the Caribbean? Did you know that there were already indigenous Black people already here? We didn't get off no goddamn boat, dude. You ain't gonna just bring your little tether ass around our people and speak for us. See, this is why we delineating, because we cannot allow no big face ass tether to sit up here and lie on my motherfucking grandmama. My grandmama and none of my ancestors ain't never got beat by no white man and came out and got put on no boat. You out your monkey ass mind, dude. I ain't found one slave in my ancestry, excuse me. And none of my lineage, I haven't found one slave. I found a lot of people going to jail, being in prison, on the run, got warrants, got bounties on them. I had one uncle with like 6 bounties. I think he went to jail for stealing the saddle, a pail, and setting the White House on fire. God damn. Shout out to Unc. But the moral of the story is we cannot allow these people to come over here and speak for our history. He just told us that all of our ancestors came off a boat from Africa. Do y'all hear this shit? Shout out to King Tojo for supporting the channel, being the first and only person to support today's show, man. Shout out to the brother King and Chief Tojo. Don't let Tojo be the only one to support a real nigga channel today. By the way, this channel is not monetized, so all donations is appreciated. You're not obligated, but we do appreciate it. See, these people don't even want to. He talk about, are we African in Jamaica? We got off a boat. Nigga, you ain't get off no damn boat, you dummy. Well, maybe you did. I think a lot of Jamaicans is Africans, to be completely honest. I think that's why we just don't get along with some of you motherfuckers. Some of y'all got African blood. And ain't no wrong with nothing wrong with Africans, but a lot of the Africans that came over here with the European, they didn't get forced over here. They came over here just like the Africans that want to come over here. They want to sit on the lap of the white man. They want to do whatever the white man tell them. They a lap dog. And so I don't believe in all this slave trade. Yeah, they probably did make them do some brutal shit once they got them all the way over here. But I think that the African was willingly wanting to come. I think that they begged the white man to come over here. Yeah, nigga. I think that I don't think no slave trade happened, but I do think that the white man brought a bunch of the motherfuckers over here. I think that they was willingly wanting to come, just like they'll jump in the lap of the white man today. It only makes sense. Think about it. Ain't nobody forcing no Africans over here. I don't think nobody forced them over here historically. Why the hell would they want to run away from the big bad white man when the big bad white man got food? They ain't got no food. They got a boat. Africans ain't got no boat. Hell, they probably had on some metal clothes and shit with a little sword. They ain't had no shit like that. Them Africans over there still living in third. Listen, if you think Africa is fucked up now, imagine how it was in 1616. Think about it. Think about it. I want y'all to just put y'all mind in Africa right now. Think of Africa. Think of all the third world shit you see in Africa. Just think about it right now. And then go back to 1616. They was even more primitive than that. Than what they is now. They eat bush meat, monkeys. Imagine what they was eating back then. People. They was eating people. They was cannibals. You think a bunch of cannibals ain't just gonna willingly come with some white men? Yeah, I think that that's just my theory. Y'all can argue and beat it up all y'all want. Me personally, I believe that I don't think no white man can force no African on a boat. I believe that they can trick them, like, hey, we'll feed y'all. We got some snacks. Bubu Tunde, we got bags of rice, but you're going to have to ride with me right quick. It ain't going to take us long. Go get about 50 of your homies and do the old solo move. You know, 5 niggas go get 5 niggas, and 10 niggas go get 10, and 20 go get 40, and 40 go get 80. And, you know, next thing you know, you got 200 niggas on the ship. Happy, cheesing, playing music. Whoa, whoa, where? You know how them Africans be playing that music for them white people? Oh, why, where? Why, where? Oh, why, where? And then it's always that one nigga in the background that you don't never even get to hear. He got that high-pitched ass voice. Yeah, they singing African version of 31 bottles of beer on the wall. He was like, yeah, that nigga in the background. That nigga got that high-pitched voice. You're like, where the fuck that nigga that came from? Yeah, no, I don't think nobody forced no motherfucking weak-ass Africans on no boat. I think they willingly came, my nigga. Them motherfuckers on there then they didn't know they was gonna come over here, and the white men switched up on them. Soon as the motherfucker got off the boat, I told you niggers you was gonna have a good time. Wow, just start whipping them, huh? Yeah, he probably tricked a few niggas. They probably tricked a few niggas and took their dumb ass to the islands. That's where. Listen, think about it. Where do Europeans? You think Europeans gonna take a nigga to a big, beautiful land like this to the Americas? No, that's why they say didn't even that many people even come here. According to their own slave story, nigga, nobody really came to the Americas. 300,000 came to the Americas, and majority of them went to Brazil. That just be they didn't come to North America like that, man. Wasn't even no slaves and no African slaves in North America, my nigga. Yeah, man, I don't even think a nigga even really had to do nothing with them. Take them niggas to the islands. It's a bunch of freaky European white men. Think about it. They just got out of Greek. Freaky as hell. They was in the dark ages, dirty than a motherfucker. And now they see some thick little Africans running around. Some little short little African men's and shit. Cause a lot of them white boys be gay. So they snatching up they tricking them, to come on a boat so they can take them to Epstein Island. Guess where Epstein Island is? Jamaica. Did you know that Jamaica was the first Epstein Island with a bunch of African slaves? Come on, man. Y'all believe this shit? Come on. Y'all gotta wake up at some point in time. Y'all gotta wake the fuck up. Let's get back into some of this heat. I can go on rants. My bad.
Evidence is there even within our culture. When it comes to music, it's the same. When it comes to our food, it's the same. You just call it different shit. You say smothered, we said stewed. You say yams, we say sweet potato. You said beans and rice, we say rice and peas. And if you travel a little bit more, you would see every time I cross paths with a black person, I'm like, yo, you look like somebody I grew up in school with. That's simply because your ancestors probably was there. You probably related to the person. That's why you look so much alike. And trust me, I get it. Some of our people have a mentality where we think like we better than y'all, or we say certain shit.
Bro, we ain't no candy, you coconut kicking ass niggas. No offense. Shout out to my island boys. You feel me? You just an island boy trying to make it. You just an island boy trying to fake it. Nigga, you over here tethering and lying and shit. If you don't take your ass back to the islands and go climb a palm tree.
That I don't agree with, but it's the same thing on your end. But to end this video, I would really like to ask y'all, all the people who sacrificed and bled that look like you and I, do you really think they cared if a person had an accent or their cultures was different when they all was sitting in the bottom of those ships, when they all was hanging from trees, when they all was going through the same hardships?
Bro,
I don't think
you
so.
don't shut that victim. I hate when they trying to guilt trip us. We supposed to come together, brother. You don't remember when grandma was hung from the tree? She was hung from this tree, brother. We was on the slave ship, brother. They beat us with a coconut stick, brother. Man, you don't get the fuck on with that victimhood ass shit. Did nothing happen to my grandmama, my nigga. My grandmama shot a white man and got off free because he was trying to break in her house. Nigga, ain't nothing happened to my motherfucking grandmama, dude. You tripping. If something happened to my grandmama, how the fuck am I hurt? Explain that, my nigga. How we here? You ain't even making no sense. Big fat ass tether. You didn't even think about the shit he was saying.
And if you think so, something is wrong with you.
Taino, man, y'all see the spelling. They are Native Americans. When people say Native Americans, they're talking about people that are native to the USA, Central America, South America, and then the islands surrounding that, okay? They all the Americans. They have the same race. Some people even consider them the East Asian race because they're very genetically close to the East Asians. But yeah, this is a lady.
Genetically close? See, this big dumbass nigga got to be a tether. Let me just go ahead and break this shit down to you. This motherfucking little thing that you see on the screen behind this dumbass tether, that's an Asian. That's a Inuit. That's a motherfucking, that's an Asian, dude. I guarantee if she take a DNA test, it ain't nothing indigenous gonna come back. I'm talking about not one damn percentage of indigenous gonna come back, nigga. She gonna come back as Jackie Chan grandmama, nigga. This motherfucking bitch is Asian. Talking about these are Tainos. She's Native American. Man, if you don't get your goofy ass on. I hate when these tethers be getting on her speaking like they know some shit. Nigga, I'm just calling like I see it, right? At some point in time, you gotta call it like you see it. I see a Asian, Philippine, mixed with a little bit of Cambodian, maybe a little bit of motherfucking Genghis Khan. You feel me? A motherfucking little Eskimo. That's an Eskimo in the desert. What you call an Eskimo in the desert? A Mexican. What you call a Chinese in Mexico? A Mexican. Nigga, a Mexican ain't nothing but a little Chinese motherfucker. If you really want to be real, it's a Chinese mixed with a little Spaniard. If you really want to get technical, they all mix with Asians. The only group of Hispanics, which is Spanish-speaking people, that ain't mixed with Spaniard is the Brazil. Oh, no, matter of fact, every one of them is. They all either, but some of them is Spaniard and indigenous mix. Some of them is Asian and Spaniard. See, the ones that's Asian and Spaniard is these Mexicans like this little thing right here. Guatemalans, El Salvadorians, Guatemalans, Hondurans. You feel what I'm saying? These little motherfucking little things like that, Venezuelans and shit like that. They ain't nothing but Asians. They was enslaved in America. See, y'all don't know that, but that's a whole nother subject from when I'm gonna give y'all that work. I'm gonna give y'all some fire heat because I know y'all be ready to learn some shit sometime. And I got the shit that y'all need to hear, and I got the facts. And listen, so what I'm saying is I'm gonna show y'all that Asians was enslaved through the Pacific, not through the Atlantic. See, they don't talk about the Pacific slave trade, right? And so we got enslaved Asians coming in from the West Coast. I'm talking about they getting picked up from all over Asia, all over East India too. So you will find some Mexicans that look East Indian because they do got some East Indian in them. See, they went from Chinos to Indios. That's called Asian slaves in colonial Mexico. A good brother wrote a book about it. It's called The Asian Slaves in Colonial Mexico, from Chinos to Indians. That's why when you hear a Mexican say, I'm a Chicano, that's pretty much going back to a Chino. A Chino is a chink. A Chino is it's like a enslaved Asian. That's what it means. It's just another term for an Asian in servitude, in perpetual involuntary servitude. You see what I'm saying? Think about it. Think about it. They look Asian, but they kiss the ass of the Spaniard, though, because that's who colonized them and beat their ass and put their finger in their butt. Because a lot of Asians is a lot of these Mexicans and Spanish homosexual. And listen, think about it. Let's go to the West Coast where a lot of Hispanics is right now. Let's go out to the West Coast where a lot of Hispanics is right now. Think about it. These gang banging racist ass Mexicans, they racist because they take the side of the Spaniard. That's why they wear them shoes. They wear them motherfucking them tight ass baggy ass pants. Look just like a Spaniard shit. Them Spaniards used to be wearing them baggy ass kulaks. What grandma and them used to wear to church. They call them kulaks. And guess what else? They used to have them stockings on. The Spaniards used to wear them kulaks with them stockings. You feel what I'm saying? You can go look at pictures of Cortez and shit. You can go and look him up. You can go and look it up. You see what I'm saying? Look, matter of fact, let me show you this image. This is one of my favorite images when it talks about Negro, because this is in the Library of Congress. You can go and look up Montezuma meeting of Cortez is in the Library of Congress. This is from the 1500s, family, and this is a Negro town. As a matter of fact, this particular area that you're looking at is downtown UCLA. Do you know where the UCLA school is? The college. This is where the college would have been in 1500s. As a matter of fact, one of those historical buildings that you see in this image is still down there at the UCLA college today. Okay, I'm giving y'all free game, man. So listen, when you look at this image right here, you see what he got on. Them high socks. He got them flip-flops and them high socks. Now, when you go to look at Hispanics in California, what they be wearing? High socks. They be wearing them high-ass socks. As a matter of fact, that down there lets you know if you how much racist and how much of a chino you is, how high your socks is. You feel what I'm saying? But guess what? That's all because the Spaniard Cortez wore socks like that. As a matter of fact, just to take it a step farther, most Hispanics, gang-banging Hispanics, wear some particular shoes called E. Cortez. Think about it. They wear a set of shoes called Nike Cortezes. Mexicans love those shoes. Huh? Am I ringing a bell? My bad. Let me get through this because I can go on these long-ass rants for some time. But listen, let's get a few people to support the channel. We only had one person support the channel so far. But listen, though, I'm just freestyling right now. I'm just giving y'all some free game to how to observe this shit. You ain't got to go through with this standard procedure. I'm giving you the unorthodox, grassroots, Aboriginal FBA way to look at these motherfucking things. These little Mexicans, they Asians for real. Native Americans, Asians. So we Asians since the beginning. Ever since we seen them little things. As a matter of fact, let me show y'all this image of Montezuma right here. This is another image of Montezuma. Young. Now, this is a young Montezuma, obviously. They portrayed him young. Obviously, when he met up with Cortez, he was a little elder in age, I believe in his 50s. But if you look at Montezuma right here in this image, but it's not about Montezuma per se, because that's my brother. He's a young Negro doing his thing. But I want y'all to look in the background. Because sometimes some things just go by you and you don't catch it, but you know, I'm here to bring it to your forefront. Pay attention to the background, family. What do you see? Buildings that look like shit that's in your historical town, that's in your downtown area today? Does this look like something that's in your downtown area today? Does this like one of the municipal buildings, the old banks, a theater, a Mason Hall? These buildings were built by indigenous peoples in Mexico before the 1500s. This image is from the 1500s from the Library of Congress. This is an FBA at its finest. This is a nigga. This is an Aboriginal, my nigga. And guess what? They was doing? Deep as hell, all in Cali. When you look at these images, you see niggas everywhere. Big buff niggas out there in Cali with like they was Crips and shit and Bloods from the motherfucking early 80s or something. You feel me? Swole up top. You feel what I'm saying? Big Tookie Williams looking ass motherfucker. You feel me? Cortez didn't want none of this. Sometimes they even refer to Montezuma as Montezuma the Moor because how dark of complexion he was, because he was a nigga. He was a nigga for sure, you know. But listen, if you look all in the windows, all on the rooftops of the buildings, you see nothing but niggas. Everybody outside trying to see the little Mexican or the little white boy, because we ain't never seen one like this. You feel what I'm saying? We done seen little Asians, We done seen little Asians before, but we ain't never seen no little white boy like that. So the whole town came out. Everybody looking like nigga. We done found the Bigfoot. But I go on these long tangents. I'll break down some of this indigenous shit on another note. Let's get back to these Jamaican tethers, though. All right, man. Hit that like button, thumb up the video, support the channel, man. It's your brother, Aboriginal Power, the Hood Journalist. Let's go.
That is native to South America. This is a lady native to North America. As you can see, they are part of the same racial group. And genetically, they are very close together, too. They did the test. Me and Taino is just an ethnic group for the Native Americans that were of the Caribbean islands. And also, too, not all of the Native Americans in the Caribbean were Taino. Some were, I ain't gonna even pronounce.
Man, dude, you sound like you fucking dumb. Are you sucking your thumb when you speak? Sound like you got a cough drop in your mouth. You can't even, your teeth too big, bro. Spit that shit out, homie. This tether talking points.
Right here.
Seems like it's your right here. I don't know. It's Taino. You sound slow as shit.
An ethnic group for the Native Americans that were of the Caribbean islands. And also, too, not all of the Native Americans in the Caribbean were Taino. Some were, I ain't gonna even pronounce them right here. Some of them were that, okay? But yeah, they are Native Americans. They just have a different ethnicity, like the Cherokee, Seminole, and the ones in South America, but they are part of the same race.
This nigga said that the Asians, fool. These niggas, you all connected to a bunch of fucking Asians. Nigga didn't show me nothing but a bunch of damn Asians. These dumbass tethers don't be knowing shit. That's why we can't allow these people to do no shit like that. That's why I stand up and represent for the nation, man. And that's why I created the Tether Task Force, family. The Tether Task Force is nothing to fuck around with. We are on all you tethers asses, online, offline, anytime, all the time. You understand what I'm saying? Shout out to everybody that's in the building, though.
Without the Caribbean. Now, a lot of people might not agree with that statement. So let's start with some statements.
Yeah, that nigga had a speech impediment, motherfucking Chickahominy Roots. He was in my class. Do you see what I'm saying? Come on, slow ass nigga. You was in my class. That's how I know you slow.
There would be no hip-hop with the Caribbean. Now, a lot of people might not agree with that statement.
Boy, if you don't shut your stupid ass up, talking about there wouldn't be no hip-hop without the Caribbean. See, this is the stupid lies that we do, bro. Have you not seen Microphone Check? I watched the movie like 5 times, bro. That movie is so fire. Are you a damn idiot? There wouldn't be no hip-hop without the Caribbeans. Name one rapper in the Caribbeans before 1970. Go ahead, bro. Any Caribbean that's listening in the chat, because I know it's some tethers flocking with another feather in the building. We got tethers with a feather. That's you Arawak Indian ass niggas. You West Indian ass nigga. I call you tethers with a feather. So I'm talking. So listen, you name me one rapper in anywhere in the Caribbean before 1970, my nigga. You out of your rabbit ass mind, dude. Nigga, they didn't even sell radio appliances in Jamaica in the 1960s. 1962, they didn't have no place to go buy no damn equipment. It's a third world country. That's like going to the damn Djibouti or goddamn Zimbabwe or somewhere, and you think they gonna have radio equipment, nigga? They don't even, nigga. They gonna sell you a rat on a stick. You ain't about to get no fucking drums, nigga.
So let's start with some that y'all might agree with. Hip-hop genuinely is agreed to have started with DJ Kool Herc back in the 70s. DJ Kool Herc is from Jamaica. I think we could all agree that the turntable was invented by Grandmaster Flash. Grandmaster Flash is from Barbados. I know we could say probably the other main DJ in the history of hip hop, early hip hop, would be
Grandmaster Flash. That nigga learned from King Disco King Mario, bro. It was DJs out way before him. We got Colt LaRock. We got motherfucking Pig Meat Mark. We got Curtis Mayfield. We got James Brown that dropped a song in 1968 called Let That Brother Rap. Put it in y'all YouTube right now. James Brown, 1968, Let That Brother Rap. Shot a video and everything. You out of your rabbit ass mind, bro.
African Bombada.
See, you one of them freaky, zesty ass tethers with a feather. You done fuck around and let Bambada got your bottom bound and bottom. Bambada them probably body bottomed and bottom.
Early hip hop would be African Bombada was from Jamaica. Now stay with me, y'all, because it just keeps going and going. Some of y'all might say, I'm still not convinced. So would you be convinced that Biggie Smalls is considered to be the GOAT of hip hop by a lot of people on the East Coast?
Man, Biggie Smalls was a fat ass tether. No disrespect to my Biggie Smalls lover. This is one for my big players. Papa do shit. Niggas new shit. Now listen, man, he was a fat ass tether, man, and he was overly freaky. He probably would have been at Epstein Island. Did y'all hear the shit that Pete Diddy? I mean, that I almost said P. Diddy, but Biggie Smalls was sitting on Diddy lap. So listen, he's a freaky zest monster, bro. His ass overrated as hell. Ain't nobody give a fuck about no Biggie Smalls, guy. And that's what Tupac said. Use a nigga and I fucked your wife. And that nigga was a tether, man. That nigga Biggie whack, yeah, on the set. That nigga was a fat black neck ass tether with a eye cut like a motherfucking 357. You understand me? That left eye was like a 357 about to take out a hole. You understand? Man, that nigga wasn't shit to me, man.
Guess where Biggie Smalls is from, and many other of the legendary New York artists. I mean, many of y'all might agree that Pop Smoke was the best New York artist we've had in a long time. Guess where Pop Smoke was from? Some of y'all may argue that Nicki Minaj might be the best female.
Man, Pop Smoke went out to Cali and got smoked, my nigga. No offense to Pop Smoke, but his ass was a tether. He was a 50 Cent try to copy like ass nigga, trying to gang bang on some Black American shit, and his ass got smoked, my nigga. Straight up. Dead homies, his ass got smoked. And the little young nigga that smoked him out right now, chilling. Shout out to Cuz. He grew on the set. But listen, man, we don't give a damn about no damn tethers, man. We don't give a damn about no damn tethers. It happens. It happens, bro. Look, who else you gonna name? Busta Rhymes? I'm waiting on you to name Busta Rhymes and Fat Joe, Ozempic Joe. That nigga lost all his weight in his kneecaps. He's still big as hell up top. He need to get some new motherfucking medicine because that Ozempic just took all his kneecap fat away. Motherfucker ain't got no muscle, no fat, no weight in his knees.
A rapper of a generation, perhaps of all time, and guess where she's from? And the list just goes on and on and on and on. I mean, you want to talk about remixes? We love remixes, right? Guess where the first remix ever comes from? Jamaica.
Bro, the first remix does not come from Jamaica, and they probably did do some remix ass shit. Man, this zesty ass Jamaican dude getting on my motherfucking nerves just sitting on her line. I wish I could just talk to him face to face about this conversation because I really smoke his game. Because he on her just lying, just saying random rappers throughout various different eras and shit. I will smoke his game when it comes to this hip hop shit. And I'm not even a hip hop fanatic like that. There's real hip hop historians around this month, and I know some shit though. Don't get it twisted. I know what I know. You feel what I'm saying? But I was Smoke Dude game though. These dudes be wanting to take credit for everything that we got. They really feel obligated to our birthrights, to our success, to our achievements, to our inventions, and to our innovations. This is sick. They really be trying to crowbar their way into our historical relativity, into our lineage and everything, man. This is sick.
Guess where the first bass boost comes from? All time. Jamaica. We literally invented, Caribbean people invented turntables. We invented turntables. Grandmaster Flash came to America.
This nigga said he invented turntables. Bro, y'all didn't even y'all didn't even have no stores that sold any electric appliances on the island of Jamaica, dude. Y'all didn't even have no companies that even sold anything electric because y'all didn't even have electric on the island, dude. I'm not about to sit up here and argue with this goofy because he's not even on the phone for me to even talk to, and he really pissing me off right now. I'm going to go find Joe ass. Oh, yeah. Hey, Brother Nasir, we got the general of the Tether Task Force in the building. Can you please write up that warrant for this tether? He's going down. He's on my motherfucking shit list.
America and invented turntables. I'm telling y'all, man, there's no hip hop without Caribbean people, and these are just a few small examples. I mean, even the West Coast ratchet sound, you say, yo, Caribbean people ain't got nothing to do with California. Guess where DJ Mustard's family is from? Guess where DJ Mustard's family? Yo, you can't. There's no hip hop without the Caribbean. And I know at this point in the video, there's probably a lot of Moorish, foundational, Egyptian, Hebrew, Israelite, Native Americans who are very offended by this. And to those of y'all in that community that don't like this video, I would encourage y'all to read.
Oh, you little disrespectful prick. Oh, you done overstepped your line now, you little fucking zesty, light-skinned prick. Oh, yeah, I'm going to find this nigga, man. Oh, yeah, we putting cases on all you bitches. I'm putting cases on all you bitches. Because I'm tired of this Jamaicans got something to do with hip. Y'all literally have nothing to do with nothing. This imposter Rasta over here lying. This imposter Rasta is over here lying. Meanwhile, there's no hip hop in the Caribbean today. Right. Name me a fire Caribbean hip hop artist right now. And you better not say Busta Rhymes. Man, this big yellow Wyclef, he probably was dark-skinned 4 years ago. This is what happens when these over zesty island boys use cake soap for 3 years in a row. This is your result. Your ass start to look like the Weekend little brother. Weekday. Yeah, this the Weekend little brother. His name Weekday. But let's get through it, man. This shit is hard to get to. Somebody said, where was Spice? Where was Spice? Ice Spice?
Guess where DJ Mustard?
Matter of fact, where is Ice at? I'm pretty sure somebody need to get his ass.
His family is from. Guess where DJ Mustard's family? Yo, you can't. There's no hip hop without the Caribbean. And I know at this point in the video, there's probably a lot of Moorish, foundational, Egyptian, Hebrew, Israelite, Native Americans who are very offended by this. And to those of y'all in that community that don't like this video, I would encourage y'all to read a peer-reviewed book. I don't know how I could forget about this, but if you like anything that's made by anyone in Toronto, so much Caribbean influence in Toronto. That's why their slang sounds like that. It's just patois with a Canadian accent. That's why Drake is always using Caribbean words, and he's so involved in the Caribbean culture, even though he's not Jamaican, because everyone he was around was from the Caribbean. Like, that entire Toronto sound is hugely.
Man, just because a nigga was around a bunch of fucking tethers don't mean tethers created it. Just because a bunch of tethers came around during the creation or after the creation or something, don't mean they had nothing to do with it. Like I said, this is a debate that already been debunked. Dude is a fucking liar. I can't even sit through this shit no more. It's really making my blood boil. I don't want to listen to his ass no more. Me. Yeah.
Compare different things. It's like really what y'all mad about, like B said, like y'all just don't have no roots. Y'all don't have no history for real.
We ain't got no roots. We ain't got no history. This is one of the biggest talking points that these people love to say about us. We ain't got no roots. We ain't got no history. We just a damn bunch of Africans that got brought on the boat, huh? These people tell us we ain't got no history. We ain't got no culture. When you can't even tell me when your grandmama was born. You can't go show me where your grandmama was buried at. You don't even know your fourth great grandmama name. Y'all the motherfuckers that lack knowledge of self. Y'all don't have no history of self. Y'all don't have no real roots. We are the culture. All American culture is Black American culture. Whether you look goofy tethers know it or not, man. At the end of the day, Aboriginal, indigenous culture, Black American culture, all is the same. The inventions, the innovations. Come on, man. This lady done fled her little funky ass over here to America, and this damn heifer done indulged herself all in our culture, telling us we ain't got no culture. Ain't this about a bitch? Excuse my language. But ain't this about a bitch? A little funky ass heifer done escaped her little third world country, came up in my house using my culture, then got good, full, and fed, and then opened her little funky, crusty ass mouth to tell us we ain't got no culture. This is why we delineating, man. And now they mad. No, nigga, don't delineate. You divisive. If we ain't got no culture, we ain't got no roots. Why you even want to be connected to us? Why you copy us? I'm gonna let it go through for a second, man. Drop them fire emojis. Shout out to everybody that's in the building, too, right quick. Shout out to everybody that's in the building. Drop those fire emojis. Hit that like button. Support the channel, man. This your brother Aboriginal Power, the hood journalist.
Keys on the track, on the track, on the track, on the track, on the track.
For the stats, I be beating the odds. In the blood, it be making me calm. Ride the turban just like I'm Saddam. I'ma blow it just like I'm a bomb. I'ma leave it.
Really what y'all mad about, like B said, like y'all just don't have no roots. Y'all don't have no history for real. The only history that y'all really have is we were slaves and somebody, fixed it for us and then we back here. I mean, the only history that I really could say y'all physically probably have was probably the time when Martin Luther King was here. Like they did like a lot more as far as the Black, African American culture for y'all. But other than that, it's like y'all really don't have nothing. Like y'all can't even say like y'all really don't have no food. Like fried chicken and stuff, but white people did. You guys are white and Black. Y'all are still Americans. You get what I'm saying? So
the food, lady, do she not know that we fed the world? No, like seriously, do she not know that we fed the world, family? We've been feeding the world since the beginning. Literally. Come out, we ain't got no food. Most of the food that y'all got in y'all island and most of the food that they got in Africa literally comes from America, family. It literally comes from the Americas, family. Don't let these people get up here and lie to you like that. Don't let these people get up here and lie to you like that. They know this shit come from the Americas. When we start talking about food, when we start talking about culture, we can prove that shit comes straight from the Americas. Civilization in general come from the Americas. You feel what I'm saying? As a matter of fact, let me just go to this simple source right quick. Let me just bring up a source right quick. Y'all know we like to show facts. So look, it said the idea that Europeans who introduced civilization to Africa is one of the biggest historical myths. In fact, evidence from archaeology, oral history, traditional languages, and cultural practices strongly indicate that it was the South American Indians who introduced civilization to Africa some 7,000 years ago. Look, right here in this particular book, which we're going to zoom in on, we're going to just read some more facts while we got it pulled up. Look, it said not only did South Americans introduce cultivation to Africa, but they also introduced a wide variety of crops to Africa. The land known as North Africa at the time had amazing agricultural potential, but what was lacking was the variety of agricultural crops. The wide variety of crops that South Americans introduced to Egypt was one of the principal factors that led to the rapid rise of the prominence of ancient Egypt. Today, more than 90% of the food crops grown in Africa today, in fact, are American crops. That's 3 of them. Hold on, let's go to one more just to add the icing on the cake. America contributed few food animals to the world. Not too many animals, but America plant foods revolutionized Europe, Africa, and Asia. I'm not about to argue and have a conversation with these goofies who just get online and lie about our contributions. Okay?
Only the difference between the African Americans and like Americans that live in the United States is that one's white and one's black. But y'all honestly came from the same.
Yeah, honestly,
y'all was slaves and y'all was manipulated to feel like y'all was so different, but y'all are just the same as both of them. So I just feel like it's more so like not even that it's beef, it's just hate. It's just not even hate, it's envy.
It's more like educated. People gotta be more educated.
And then I also feel like people just are so just ignorant at that. Like, you know, ignorant. Like, you know, Haitians, we were slave at a point, but we wasn't like slaves like how, you know, y'all was on this land.
Yeah, we got our independence.
You know, we kind of did.
Y'all don't do shit. You don't own the land. The British Crown owns the land. Y'all don't have access to y'all beaches. The British Crown own y'all beaches. Y'all don't get shit but a hard time. Have you ever seen those Jamaican shacks in Jamaica? Are you proud about that stuff that you see in Jamaica? Are you proud about that stuff that you see in Jamaica, man? Because that's the damn slums. Y'all live in a bunch of damn tuna cans. When we go and examine certain neighborhoods in Jamaica, it is horrible. Matter of fact, let me just show the family. Let me just show y'all shit. Look, this is Jamaica, man. This is a normal house in Jamaica. This is a normal house. You look down this block, you'll see all the houses look similar to this. A bunch of washed up water plywood with a bunch of tuna cans and a bunch of goddamn sardine cans put together to make your house, man. You understand what I'm saying? Look at this. Look, when you go down here and just click on them, just click on that shit. You'll see, look, that's Jamaica. Come on, man. Ain't nobody living like this in America like that, fam. They need to cut it out. They got some nerve to be disrespecting my peoples like that. For real.
Things differently, but I just feel like If we're gonna be black,
we need to start gatekeeping Carnival. There is no reason on this earth for anybody that's not from the Caribbean to be at Carnival. And I don't care how y'all feel on the subject. Yeah, I know I love Jada Waiter, but what the do her and her American friends know about Carnival? What are you doing at Carnival?
It's one thing for you to appreciate a culture. You can go, you can watch, you can say, oh my God, this is so beautiful. I love this, like wooty wooty woo. It's another thing for you to participate and you don't know why you're participating.
I think everyone could participate in Carnival because I love Afrobeat and I love to go to African concert. I don't want nobody to say I'm Caribbean, I'm Guyanese, and I can't go to no Afrobeat concert because I can fight them. So I think everyone can be a part of everybody's culture. We're all one. We all live in this American country.
In society, as human beings, we have a tendency to want to include everybody and everything, but that's not sustainable for something like your culture. Some things do need to be private and they do need to be just to the people who it needs to be for.
There is so much disdain for Black Americans everywhere.
Right. Talk about it, sis.
Oh, that racism exists, but it's weird when you experience it from people that look like you. Like, I don't understand what Black Americans have done so bad that makes other people, especially the ones that we share the same skin color and features, I don't understand what we did to make them dislike us so much. Because I'm in a whole nother country, and while the country is considered Dutch, I see a lot of people that look just like me. It's like they're almost treating me worse than the people, and I don't understand.
Man, because they're a bunch of hating tethers that has deep-rooted jealous envy over your people. They don't like your people, and it stimulates some deep-rooted cultural hate.
Understand. Somebody help me understand what it is that Black Americans do to other cultures and people around the world that just makes them have so much hate for us. It's weird. I feel like Black Americans, we are so welcoming and embracing toward everybody. We want to include everybody. And I just feel like everybody wants to exclude us, even the people that look just like us. The only thing is they speak a different language. I want to know what it is about Black Americans that people just don't like. Even though we look the same, even though if you put us side by side, nobody would know that you're Afro Latina or versus me. Like, no one would know because we have all the same features and we have the same skin color. And again, I don't want this to be taken like I'm talking about everyone. I've met some amazing, nice people where I am specifically and just all over. But aside from the normal type of racism that is experienced, it's very off-putting and like it makes me sad when it's from people that look just like me. It's sad. It really.
Girl, don't let these motherfucking funky ass tethers get you upset. You gonna have to toughen up your skin, darling. Cause tethers gonna tether and haters gonna hate. You understand what I'm saying? And guess what? If they ain't hating on you, you ain't doing nothing right. Don't let them see you fold, sis. Don't never let them see you fold.
It is, and I want to understand why.
This is something I shouldn't say, but I'm gonna say this shit to your face.
Man, shut your ugly, fat, fucking African quagmire in the face ass up. I don't even know what you about to say, but guess what? I don't like your face. I don't like your face instantly, quagmire face. You're an African. You're Jamaican or something, dude. I don't trust you. You fucking giggity, foo-foo in the mouth ass nigga. Yo, I instantly hated his face, man. I do not like him. I don't even know what he's gonna say. He can say something absolutely great. I don't know. I hate his face. already. And I'm pretty sure if I don't like your face, man, you're not going to say nothing good. I guarantee this nigga like 60. And why the fuck your voice so deep? Why you ain't got no facial hair as a 60-year-old man? I don't trust you now. I don't like your face, and I don't trust you. Ain't no goddamn way we related to these people, somebody said. Nah, yo, wow. Ain't no motherfucking way we related to these people. Ain't no way.
I want to know what the African Americans will do if Donald Trump start deporting all the African Americans with criminal records, deport them back to Africa.
Bitch, we didn't come from Africa. How you gonna deport me back to a place I never went to, never came from? Are you stupid? I knew his stupid ass was gonna say something. I seen it in his ugly ass face. As soon as he turned the corner like this, I knew he was ugly and was gonna say something. God don't like ugly. Lord have mercy. This nigga is fucking hideous. Shit. That nigga ain't getting no coochie, nowhere. He ain't getting no play, nowhere. Not even from them ugly ass Nigerian women. They ain't even busting over them big ass rumps for you. This nigga ugly than a motherfucker on my mama, bro.
This is something I shouldn't say, but I'm gonna say this shit to your face.
He sound like one of them little monsters, and he look like one of them little monsters off the Fifth Element. You remember the ones that came into the casino with them guns? They were like, where that girl at with the rocks in her stomach and shit. You know what I'm talking about off the Fifth Element, them little aliens? He looked like and sound like one of them motherfuckers.
This is something I shouldn't say, but I'm gonna say this shit to your face. I want to know what the African Americans will do if Donald Trump start deporting all the African Americans with criminal records, deport them back to Africa. I just want to know what's going to happen. And I just want to know your thoughts. You never can trust him. He could come out with some crazy ideas like that. And he's going to carry it out with all his ICE boys. ICE baby. Let me know.
Right. So
that had to be an alien, man. That didn't even feel right. That had to be a motherfucking alien, man. They are really walking amongst us, bro. These aliens are really walking amongst us, dude. This shit is getting out of hand. Trump, what is going on, bro? Like, we got aliens in the form of Africans in
this dynamic has been ongoing across the entire African diaspora for centuries at this point, and it's all by design, and it has roots in colonialism, right? We should all know that. But after looking at these comments, a lot of us are still.
Oh my God, the motherfucking Jamaican shamar in the face ass nigga. Oh my God, these be some fucking characters. If this ain't Shamar from the West Indies, I'm not from the West Indies. I'm from America. Looking ass nigga. This nigga look like Shamar. Or am I bugging? If he don't look like Shamar, maybe I'm tripping.
Still not racially adept or racially aware. Literally, the tactic is divide and conquer, right? And it's still working till this day. And every single European colony with African slaves had this, okay? It was just in a different language. That's it. So, and we can really track down the whole Caribbean versus African American dynamic to like post-emancipation because.
Oh yeah, he's zesty as hell.
Versus African American dynamic to like.
I'm gonna tell you right now, don't no nigga reach with one hand to the opposite side of their neck and let that bitch rest. You gay than a bitch. No offense to gay people, because I don't got no hate to them. I don't want no beef with the HDTV community. I ain't gonna lie to you. I don't want no smoke with the HDTV community. We just calling out that the fact that he gay. It is what it is. I ain't gonna say nothing else to it. This nigga overly zesty though. Damn, homies. That motherfucker, look at that. This is I think this might be in all gay magazines. When you do a gay pose, they're like, hey, do a gay pose. You automatically take your arm and reach it over and just look off somewhere. Yeah, that's definitely a gay pose. This nigga reminiscing over. Oh, Lord. I don't want no beef with the HDTV community, guy. I ain't gonna lie to you. I ain't making no fun of you. It's all good. The African Shamar can live. He cool with me. I ain't got no problems with this nigga. The African Shamar. Anybody that got a Shamar face gay at this point, I'm sorry. If I see you, nigga, if I see you and you got a Shamar look, a little face, you probably gay. I think that's scientifically proven at this
post-emancipation, because the U.S. started to push that narrative that Caribbeans were more hardworking than African Americans. And there's actually a lazy stereotype for African Americans. And this was all to cause competition and resentment against both groups that are literally cousins and the same, right? Because both of us together would just be too.
Somebody said, who is Shamar? Oh, man, I'm glad you said that. I would love to show you this nigga. Hold on. Let me show you Shamar. Oh, yeah, I'll show you Shamar. Yeah. Hold on. Let me show you Shamar real quick. Hold on. Hold on. We about to show you Shamar. Hold on. Hold on, I'm about to show you. Keep that image of that nigga we just seen in your mind that we just had on the screen. Now this Shamar. Oh man, the results is uncanny. Nah, somebody go get my computer, bro. I gotta go, bro. Y'all is in here wilding today. Yeah, damn. Nah, y'all gotta chill. I'm done, man. Y'all ain't got no filter. My mama wouldn't let me hang around y'all if I was kids. Y'all bad as hell. But the looks is uncanny though.
Too much of a power play. And when Caribbeans started to migrate to the U.S., they were literally told to not act like African Americans. And they literally were told not to act like African Americans and to look down upon them. And a lot of this is the U.S. too, because U.S. media always downplays African Americans. They still do to this day. And if you really pay attention to media across history, Caribbean immigrants were literally like frames, like they were model minorities. Like it's true, look it up. And then it's just more sick and twisted because it's literally also.
Look, that's how Shamar be stirring that motherfucker. He got the Shamar stir down pat, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you. This guy is, man. I can't even listen to him. I haven't heard one word, man. I'm not even gonna lie to you. When it be motherfuckers from the HDTV community, all due respect for the most part, some people I could probably, I can't even listen to you. It go in one ear and out the other, literally. That's why y'all ain't heard me say nothing smart about what he said, because I ain't heard shit that he said yet.
because the system profits from keeping us apart. It's all like really sick and twisted.
Yo, what's up, Indigenous Black America? What's going on? Hey.
What's going on, big brother? How you feeling?
They mad, boy, because I be dogging them with receipts, man. Anytime you got something that's too truthful.
Nigga, I don't trust you with that fro. And I don't trust you with that fro, my nigga. You look like real rap. And for those that's listening, you ain't gonna know who that is. I'm not gonna show you. But for those that know, if you know, you know. Now listen, Cleveland Brown. I don't trust you, fam. Let's see what he got to say first.
They won't even let it play. But sometimes what they'll do is they'll flag it. But when they know that you're going to take the pictures that they flag and then make another video talking about how they flagged the video, that's going to make people want to watch it even more. You feel me? So what they do, they just don't show it to people at all. Because that's what cowards do. That's what cowards do. You know? That's what cowards do. We got a sister from China. She telling y'all not the real. Y'all Chinese people. And I ain't even really.
Nah, that's a fact, bro. That's a fact. That's a fact. Matter of fact, I'm gonna just skip, little buddy, because if the guy said if you ain't got nothing good to say, don't say it at all. I'm gonna just go ahead and we're gonna go ahead and get past, cuz I ain't. God said, they said, Mama said, if you ain't got nothing nice to say, don't say nothing at all.
Get through actual receipts, but
is a Jamaican woman.
Let me go.
So I was sent this, and this is a Jamaican woman stating that Black Americans complain too much, and that that's why the rest of us are more successful because we work hard and we appreciate things.
Girl, how y'all more successful when you work hard when you ain't work hard in your own homeland? Most Jamaicans always pull that. We more successful. We work harder in all this. First of all, y'all dumb as hell. When it comes to curriculum, y'all scored the lowest. Y'all down there right above Somalians, and they stupid as shit. Second of all, y'all come over here leeching and copying off of Black Americans, getting all kind of government assistance and handouts. Then they come over here with this degenerate, funky skank culture. All that twerking and showing your coochie and little feathers on your titties and shit, which I don't mind it sometimes. I'm not going to lie. But listen, it is ratchet, though. You feel what I'm saying? But, yeah, y'all bring that type of shit over here.
Well, I'm not going to say she lying. That's her truth. And that's what she's observed. Y'all do complain that we come here and we taking your jobs and all that other kind of stuff. We come here, we work circles around you because we appreciate hard work. Not saying that y'all don't, but y'all are used to a lot of privileges that Blacks in other countries don't have. So when this Jamaican woman spoke up and said this.
First of all, you got a loose ass bonnet on your head. I know you bald headed and you ain't got no eyebrows. First of all, calm down, sister. You don't know what you talking about and you off code. You're going against the grain. We delineating right now. You over here talking with them thick ass motherfucking bifocals, them bulletproof Googlers, thin ass eyebrows, a loose bonnet. You feel what I'm saying? Talking nonsense. Girl, get your shit together.
Y'all jumped all over her. Was she telling the truth? You just didn't want to hear it. The bottom line is this. They said, she quotes, this Jamaican lady said that immigrants come to America and do better than Black Americans because back in their village, they wipe their butt with leaves and all of that kind of stuff. I mean, that's just teaching you to be grateful for the opportunities. And
at least we saying y'all wipe y'all butt with leaves. Y'all don't have no toilet paper. What you want us to lie and say, y'all wipe y'all ass with toilet paper in Africa and Jamaica? Y'all don't. Y'all use leaves. It's okay. Leaves, toilet paper made out of trees too. Shit. You feel what I'm saying? You gotta get technical sometimes. Nigga, leaves is like motherfucking toilet paper. Nigga, all toilet paper made out of trees. Nigga, sometimes you gotta break it down to them. See, don't be mad because we joking. Think I glasses ass healthy. I be seeing her ass on TikTok all the time. Her ass off code. I don't even believe she a Black American. She one of them cosplaying fat-headed ass tethers. Ain't no way her mama and her grandmama rolling over her grave if she a Black American. I'll be dipped in shit and rolled in breadcrumbs if she a Black American. You hear me? I'll be dipped in shit and rolled in breadcrumbs if she is a full-blooded Black American. I seriously doubt it, fam.
Take advantage of the opportunities that you have. Y'all were born with these opportunities available to y'all, and y'all didn't take advantage of them. So when our families come here and pass it down generation to generation, work hard, take advantage of all these opportunities, you looking at us like, wow, send them back to their country. They taking all of our jobs and all of our opportunities. No, you were born with them. You just didn't pay attention to it. So when we come here, we do the work that needs to be done. Now you looking at us crazy. I side with the Jamaican on that, and that's just what it is.
Oh, you could have fooled me.
So I'm only allowed to make videos.
Oh my God, these motherfucking tethers is out of hand, man. They are out of hand.
Violated my Caribbean people, but whenever I criticize my Caribbean people, the FBAs love it. But anytime I can come a video telling the FBAs the wrongs that they're doing, I'm all of a sudden supposed to go back home. Are you gonna come home with me? Because you definitely was not.
Yeah, you can't tell us no wrongdoings when your whole fucking island is a wrongdoing. You can't open up your little fleeing, musty tether mouth to tell us nothing, sir. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Even if you even tell us something, you little Orlando Brown, Jamaican Orlando Brown looking ass nigga. If you even say anything out the way, we on your ass, nigga. And I'm a representative of the Lineage, nigga. I'm the chief and commander of the Tethered Task Force. I need y'all to understand that. You need to calm down, you little coconut kicker.
Originating in America. Like, you are generations and generations from slaves. Like, we're gonna say what it is. Like myself, I'm from Jamaica. My generations are definitely from Africa who were shipped to Jamaica. That's why I was born and raised in Jamaica. You guys acting as if you some different.
I can't take this nigga serious. He doing too much moving and he talking too goddamn fast. I don't take this stupid ass nigga serious. Seriously.
Superior beings. Man, we both the same, buddy. We both the same. Black is black and black is forever gonna be black. And if you want to dictate the idea that black is not black, buddy, I don't know what to tell you. But when you see Black G, let me know and ask him the question. Is this Jamaican dude different from me? He's gonna do this. Nuh-uh, buddy. Nuh-uh, we both the same. You were the ignorant one who was provoking my boy.
No, Jesus ain't gonna say shit, you stupid fuck. He's a little condescending, patronizing little prick.
Doesn't get a lot of credit.
Trinis?
No.
Who?
I think Black Americans don't get a lot of credit. I think within our discussions, like when I hear like Caribbean people or African people, I'm like, please don't.
You know what's so crazy?
Act like
no, let me
a Black American man.
Let me tell you why. Let me tell you why.
Oh my motherfucking God. Now listen.
Like when I hear like Caribbean people or African people, I'm like,
now listen. You gonna think it's two females talking.
You were the ignorant one who.
This shit just fucked me up.
No.
Who?
I think Black Americans don't get a lot of credit. I think within our discussions, like when I hear like Caribbean people or African people, I'm like, please don't.
You know what's so crazy?
Act like
You say you know this stuff crazy. Bro Sanchez, what the fuck are you doing over there, dude? I know that ain't Bro Sanchez. Bro Sanchez, you trying to disguise your voice, ain't you, nigga? Nah, shout out to my nigga Bro Sanchez. I ain't even gonna do it like that. That's my nigga. Nah, I can't even do my boy Bro Sanchez like that. Shout out to my nigga Bro Sanchez. I take it back, fam. Damn Aboriginal power, you gonna say that's me? Becky drop a bomb, nigga. That ain't me. I wouldn't sound like no sissy, nigga. Y'all know Bro Sanchez. This nigga do look like him though.
No,
a Black American man.
Let me tell you why. Let me tell you why they don't get credit. And it's very obvious. When you go to a Caribbean nigga and you was fucking with, because in New York we call them Yankees.
Oh, in Miami we said Yanks.
When you're fucking with them and
Gabriel Sanchez is crazy as fuck, bro. Oh my God. I'm fucking weak, bro. This shit can't be real. Somebody should have been came and got my computer. Hey, but listen, man, let's get a few people to hit that like button, man. We only had one person support today's live stream. Y'all really bogus as hell today. I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. Y'all really bogus as hell. We only had one person support the channel. Shout out to my brother, Chief Chogo. Chief Chogo. Somebody said that's a man voice. I heard a lady back there. I'm like, 2 ladies talking, then it flashed to Bro Sanchez. I'm like, hold on. The fuck going on?
The fact that they don't have like a real culture. Like
we don't got no real culture. This nigga wearing a Letterman jacket.
And you was fucking with, because in New York we call them Yankees.
Oh, in Miami we said Yanks.
When you're fucking with them and the fact that they don't have like a real culture. Like
yeah, why are you even talking about anything? Your ass not gonna fight against supremacy. You gonna pull down your pants and bend over. We don't want no niggas like that on our side when it's time to fight. Because you gonna pull down your pants and bend over, nigga.
in terms of like,
no, they got culture now.
Well, when I say a real culture, you know, when you're in Jamaica, you're eating your rice and peas, your curry goats, and you listen to dancehall music. In America, of course, you're gonna eat like, what do you eat? Lamb chops, burgers.
Look at all these Black American soul food dishes. How you gonna disrespect us like that?
I'll tell you this. My boyfriend, he's from North Carolina, and I visited his family recently, and they have a lot of traditions, a lot of culture.
I think the most attractive Black men in America are
Bitch, we don't want to hear what you got to say. You look.
Pay attention to every sector in this country that's overrun, that has an influx of immigrants, and I guarantee you there's some embezzlement going on. I already know why they go into politics. It's a rhetorical question. It's an easy way for them to embezzle funds because other politicians are doing it too, and it's a way that these races are using them, these immigrants, to come against our interests. You know why we're dealing with the races later? Because God got something big for them, because they've been doing this for hundreds of years. You guys was just a smokescreen. You gonna get it too. This lady, young lady, is indigenous and she is running for Congress. Why is this Jamaican man running for Congress too? Check out his whole disposition. Check out his tone.
Okay. I'm going to frame my answer based upon our different experiences. As soon as you said that you were a Jamaican American, it immediately let me know your relationship to this country. And so because your relationship to this country is that you were an immigrant and your family wasn't imported through the slave trade, I understand that you're not a descendant.
It's not true. It's not true. Let's just stop there. Don't say anything about my family. I was born in the Bronx. You about to say some nonsense right now.
You're a Jamaican immigrant. He is a Jamaican American. I didn't say that. I'm not a Jamaican nothing. I am a freeman. I'm a descendant of chattel slavery. Me, Whitley Janae Gates, my family. There is no Jamaica. There is no Caribbean for me to go back to. So his proclivity and how he sees this country is going to be completely different than someone who was a descendant of chattel slavery. Completely different. So of course he wants more immigrants here. Of course, immigration, specifically illegal immigration to him, as he stated, is a sign of growth. Of course, he believes that we should be utilizing our tax dollars and our resources to support people who come over here, who've broken the law to be in this country, because it benefits his family. It benefits the story.
Yo. You can have a policy conversation. I'm gonna say this again. It's the third time your comments have referenced my family. I just want to be real clear. You can have any policy.
I'm going to talk about his lineage, which is Jamaican American, which is what
But you literally phrased about crime and illegal, and that I supported illegal immigration because we're family. Like, just again, if you want to talk about policies,
I'm talking about illegal immigration and utilizing our tax dollars and our resources to fund and support illegal immigrants. I'm not talking about people who came here with papers. I'm talking about illegal immigrants, 11 million that have crossed, 11 million in counting, that have crossed the border since Biden and Harris, and since Harris has been the border czar, has taken over. I'm talking about the resources of tax dollars that have gone from American citizens to support their housing, to support getting them food. I do not believe that we as Americans, specifically Black Americans that are descendants of slavery, should have our tax dollars utilized for illegal immigrants that have come to this country without going through the proper immigration process that we have currently in order, and get our money and get funded and get $9,000+ in Chicago for rent, and be able to get more money in food stamps and SNAP and TANF and all of these benefits, and be able to utilize our tax dollars to get free legal service. That's happening right in Indianapolis, in my own city. Absolutely not.
Hey, man, shout out to everybody that's in the building, man. It just shows the point that a lot of these people be trying to copy our culture, copy our lineage, copy our swag, even down try to copy our history and accomplishments. It's literally them trying to crowbar their way into our whole everything, man. That's why this just proves the importance of delineation, man. Delineation is very important amongst our people. I don't think we realize that. I don't think we really realize that. And shout out to everybody in the building, man. I was on Tariq Nasheed's show the other night. He did drop the little clip. Go check it out. I was over there for a brief little second. Go check it out. I forget what the name of the actual stream was. I think I shared it on my Twitter, though. But I might do a reaction to that tomorrow. But listen, shout out to everybody that's in the building. Hit that like button, thumb up the video, support the channel. Shout out to all the new subscribers. Shout out to everybody that's rocking in, all my FBA Aboriginal family. Y'all already know the vibes. Be safe, be aware, stay vigilant, and stay dangerous. It's your brother Aboriginal Power, and we out of here. Peace.
Keys on the track, on the track, on the track, on the track, on the track.
For the stats, I be beating the odds. In the blood, it be making me calm. Rhetoric just like I'm Saddam. I'ma blow it just like I'm a bomb. I'ma leave it.